test remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, my dear munchkins. How the devil are we all? I am alive at what cost? How are we? Are we well? I do hope so. It is Sunday, 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 which means, of course, I hope you've all been to church, because we are a deeply, profoundly Christian stream. Fuck yes. It wouldn't be a Kev stream without techno issues. Yeah, yeah. I started going on the wrong fucking channels, and then, oh, what happened there? Then, for some reason, I started it on the Twitch, but not on the YouTube, so I had to do it on the YouTube as well. And it, oh, God. Oh, holy moly. Is that a Mussolini song? Are you being serious? Because it's very much like an anti-Mussolini song. So in the sense that it is a song sort of about Mussolini, albeit it's about a broader series of things as well. But, yeah. Look, if we'd gone far enough into the playlist, there's also one called Mr. Hitler by Leadbelly. But he is actually the... Yeah, 707's in chat, Mussolini mentioned. But it's very much like an anti-Hitler song. It's not like a love letter or anything. You know. Well, I was going to do a sports stream, but then I thought I felt sort of shit again yesterday, and then today I was creating so much. I mean, apologies if you're eating, but like I created a lot of phlegm, like a truly ungodly. Like, you know when you get to the end of a bit of a cold or a
Stop
flu?
it. Get some help.
I really should, Michael. You're quite right. You know when you get to the end of a flu and you look at your body's sort of expelling all the gunk. Yeah, yeah, that was happening, and so I just wasn't feeling it. So I thought, even though I'm feeling better today, I'm still not at 100%. So do I want to stress myself out by doing, 2 streams today? Not really. So I'll get back into the football during the international break, which is coming up next week. So that's good. Sorry, I just heard Italian and thought of fascism / Mussolini, as you do. That is all Italy is known for. Literally, ever, in the history of the world. It's just fascism and Mussolini. 707's in chat. Football is woke. Well, when it's good, yes. When it's good, it's very, very gay. Why are you wearing a white poppy and a red poppy? Well, true. Why am I doing that? I mean, I'm not doing that, but I am doing that. Phantom of Black, what did you write? Phantom of Black. What did Phantom of Black write? Hang on, here we go. Do you need an explanation for this one? What do we have? For fuck's sake. Oh no! Oh, that's disgusting. Okay, I'm obviously going to show that. Thank you, Lord Freetus, for gifting us. Not for gifting, for being a member for 62 months. You fucking mentaloid. I love you. What a legend. A round of applause / hand jobs in chat for Lord Freetus. Did you know Zoran's father was introduced to Marx by the FBI? Well, that is usually how it works. That's how I became a Marxist. Through my FBI training. Oh shit, the cat's out of the bag. Oh, they're probably going to kill me now. What am I like? Anyway. So, Kazim Rashid says, if Zohran Mamdani becomes New York City mayor at the age of 33, it will be a death blow to millions of young Asian men in this country. Every Desi parent is going to be like, Zohran was mayor of New York at 33. You haven't even bought a house yet. Why can't you be more like him? Oh, dark days ahead for South Asian men. Shake my head. Now, that's funny enough in of itself. Nicely done. And then Nico chimes in with, yeah, and he ruling New York at 34 years old. For more information, Google Zohran Rule 34. Which I certainly will not be Googling on stream.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Thank you for that. Yes. So. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. That was... What in the fuck is this one now? Good morning specifically to the FBI agent who introduced Mamdani's dad to Marx. Is this real? Did that really happen? Did Mamdani's dad get introduced because an FBI agent said, are you a Marxist? And he said, I don't know who that is. And he explained it to him. That's mental. I do hope that's true.
The return of the sausage.
I have no idea if it is, but there we
Siri, Google image search Kevin Logan Rule 34 safe search filter off. Put on main screen.
Why don't you just do that on your own? I'm sure it exists. In a conversation with Mahmoud Mamdani. I ain't reading all this. I literally am not reading all this. That is ridiculous. That goes on for far too long. Anyway, I'll take it that what you've put is correct. Fair enough. Thank you, Vogel, with those 200 bits and that disgusting, cancel-worthy attempt to try and get Google or Siri. Motherfucker, do you think I have Siri? Do you think I would ever have one of those fucking things in my home? I'm not actually a technophobe. in most cases, but I will not acquiesce to listening devices being pointed. I presume the FBI are listening to me anyway, because obviously I'm an anarcho-communist Muslimist, right? And as long as they basically leave me the fuck alone, I don't really care. But I'm not paying and inviting a listening device into my fucking house. Thank you. If I want to turn the lights on, you know what I do? I get off my fucking arse and I go to the switch on the wall. It's very good. Look, you can do. I don't even have to get up for this one. Look, just boom, lights off, lights on, motherfucker. Let's go. Now we're cooking. Anyway, thank you. We're on a hype train. If you want to make the hype train go choo-choo and listen to me talk about how Siri is the devil, by all means, hit the follow button, subscribe, and all that shite. How primitive of you? Not at all. Bisexuals eat what? Oh, so it's ass, pussy, and cock. Right, I'm with you. I'm with you. You all are fucking full of the memes today.
Stop it. Get some help.
Thank you, Fosmos, for resubscribing with Prime. 2 months you've been with me. Get out now whilst you still can. It's like the Hotel California, but without the cool music or words. Anyway. Thoughts about the clap switch that turns the lights on and off by clapping? Well, that's not connected to like the internet, though, is it? That's just in your house, so if you make a clapping noise, it stops. But the problem I'd have with the clapping device is not like the kind of home invasion aspect that I'm talking about with Siri. The problem I would have is, because I'm unbelievably caked up, as I'm sure you're all aware, my cheeks clap just by walking. So when I get up to go, say, to the toilet, that clapping would just be turning the lights on and off as I take a step. And that's, you know, one of the disadvantages of a dump truck ass, in many respects. But, you know, you take the rough with the smooth. I'm getting them in now because I might have to dip depending on how work goes. The shift can be pretty chill.
Like a baby otter.
Turning a piss into a ray. Basically, yes. Basically. Like, I could never live with an epileptic and a clapper. Because honestly, they'd just be, you know, they'd be fucked. That's a little bit of a thinker, that one. Think it through. Is it epilepsy? Yeah, epilepsy, isn't it? Where the flashing lights can fuck you up. Oh, we've got more from Mr. Streamy. Today, I'm producing amounts of snot previously thought humanly impossible. What the fuck is... Oh, no! Gross. Very, very, very gross. The cum pool? Who's coming out of their nose? That'd be a bad one. If you jizz in someone's mouth, then make them laugh. And you know when like you're drinking milk and you laugh and you end up snotting out milk, but it's cum. That's the only way in which I can see that eventuality taking place. And I think we can all agree it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. Anyway, the main thing we've got for you today is award-winning gerbalism, of course. But there are a couple of other pieces I wanted to bring to you before we get to that. Just a couple of quick things. It is, of course, puppy masturbation season here in the UK. Post it again, Phantom. I literally cannot be asked scrolling up again. Puppy appreciation, whatever, Remembrance Sunday, blah, 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 right? here we have Chelsea Football Club, who played yesterday. That is, yeah, no, I've already shown this one, but thank you. Yes. Chelsea Football Club, and there's the people in the red tunics are called the Chelsea Pensioners. So it's relevant that you would have a tifo of that. But forgive me if I'm wrong here, chap. But does that not look a lot like Xi Jinping after Ozempic? Look at it again and tell me I'm wrong. Just look at him. It like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the kind of the. I was thinking Mao. There's a touch of Mao. There's definitely a touch of Mao going on there. Yeah. But yeah, that's the one they went with. I don't know if that's an actual representation or just like a random face, or whether that's a real person. But that's just Xi Jinping. That's slimmed down Xi Jinping right there. That was Xi Jinping before he went to the West and discovered double stuffed Oreos. So, you know. Like the tanks are passing him. Yeah, exactly. He's just in Red Square. Well, no, is it called Red Square? No, Tiananmen Square, isn't it? Red Square's in Moscow. And he's just watching the tanks go by. Just like, oh, do we have to do this every fucking year? What do you mean, where's my poppy? That's not even a thing in China, you prick. Go away, Ling. Knobhead. That's a conversation between two people very important in China. Do you have a poppy, Kev? I don't know. I'll probably get into it more with No Justice, but I basically can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with it. I won't be peer pressured by wankers into a thing that they clearly don't care about anyway. Because if any of them gave a fuck, they'd get involved with charities that help out like veterans who are on the street because of like substance abuse and mental health problems. But none of them do. None of these people give the slightest... Actually, I say none. That's not fair. I'm sure there are some. But there are lots of these people who are flag-shagging wankers. The kinds of people who go around, you know, putting flags up on lampposts. Because that's a way of being patriotic. Not doing anything to make the country better in any fucking demonstrable way. No. Just the flags, you know. I'm so glad we've got a flag-festooned island nation of fucking food banks. Yippee! Yeah. Ask me to be proud of this nation and I'll give you a list of 1,000,000 reasons why you can go fuck yourself. Anyway, thank you everyone for the hype train. Much love to you. Yes. So, hang on, I haven't got a drink, have I? Oh, suck a fucking big fat cock. Yep, there we go. Rejoice, Kib. I reacted to the Celtic Kilmarnock earlier. Oh, good. Celtic getting it done. Hearts dropping another 2 points. I told you, Hearts, they're going to struggle. Over the course of a long-ass season, they're going to struggle. Celtic got it back to 7 points, but with a game in hand. So, assuming they win that game in hand, you're down to 4 points. Oh. Anyway. Are you going to cover that Zionism football video this week, Kev? It looks good. Do you mean the one I watched on Friday? Duck. The one I watched on Friday. That one. No, I'm probably not going to follow it this week because I've already watched it. Well, you can catch it back on the VOD. Either soon on Twitch, because they disappear after like 4 days or whatever. Not 4 days, 2 weeks. But but or on YouTube. Anyway, if you were wondering, like, whether Elon Musk is having a good time right now, I have him muted because I don't really want to hear what he has to fucking say. But imagine in a week where you've just been given $1 trillion. You are the richest human being who has ever lived. And for some reason, my friend Gil has not gotten involved yet. It's very strange. Now, I'm not criticising you, Gil. I know you want to, mate, but, you know. Soon. Anyway, if you were wondering whether he's actually enjoying life, though, in any way whatsoever, he posted this at 3 in the morning.
And I will always love you.
An unconvincing grok video of a beautiful woman saying, "I will always love you." A thing that no human being has ever said with any genuineness to him in his entire life. So in case you were wondering, no, money does not make you happy. A certain amount of money can alleviate many of the stresses of life. But after that point, it's sort of pointless, isn't it, really? He is the saddest human being who has ever lived. He is the most divorced human being who has ever lived. And he will die alone. Take comfort in that, I think. I think there's something worthwhile in that. There's solace to be had. Certainly. He's going bald again. Well, yeah, I mean, that's life, I suppose. Anyway, we're going to be watching Laura Koonsberg. We've got more flag shagging. More flag shagging poppy wank. Let's go. Surely Jar Jar Gabor holds the record for most divorces at around 7. Well, I'm not saying the most as in the overall number. I'm saying the most tragically divorced human being who's ever lived. I mean, genuinely the most pathetic creature who has ever walked this earth. A man who has amassed amounts of wealth unimaginable and yet has the saddest life imaginable. Like, I'll genuinely be honest, chat. If I ever became half as pathetic as him, I would play Roblox. Like, instantly. I'd have to. I couldn't not do that. Because that's pathetic. That's 3 in the morning he posted that. Doesn't matter how rich you are, you can't buy love. You can't buy a personality. You can't buy likability. Some of the most awesome people I've ever known have had barely 2 pennies to rub together. And yet Elon Musk is a ketted out mess. Let that sink in. Anyway, if you want to help me out, because again, I did make the point that up to a certain point, money can alleviate the stresses of life, like starvation and homelessness, which are factors. You can do so in the following ways. You can hit the follow button, you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, you can gift subs to the community, you can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below, you can do bits messages, 200 bits or more gets you a text to speech. What else is there? PayPal, Burps. You can pay me in burps, much like you can pay doctors and nurses in claps. We found that out during the pandemic. Yes, you can Patreon and PayPal. I've got a Discord, I've got YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. If you're on YouTube, hell the fuck to the yam tubes. You can hit the follow. No, you can't. You can hit the subscribe button. I'll get that right once. Once in my entire cunting life, I will get that correct. You can hit the subscribe button. You can thumb the video up. It helps in the algorithm. I don't know why I've gone all sexy there. That was a bit weird. You can hit the bell icon to get notifications. You can become a member for 99 of your English pence, or Scottish, or Welsh, or Northern Irish pence, because that's the pound sterling area. Or whatever denomination that you're in. I do accept both dong and wang. Those are very comically named, but actual currencies. Anyway, yeah, you can become a member for 99p. You can give memberships to the community, and you can do super chats, which will be read out by the robot voice person. And you can do super stickers and finger me. I don't fucking care. Thank you, the Chaos Druid, for 4 months of membership on the YouTube. I'm not even waiting for the fucking noise. The noise can suck my dick. If the noise even happens. Is the noise going to happen? Apparently not. Apparently YouTube's just told the Chaos Druid to go fuck yourself. And I apologise for that. I don't know. It just did it. It said, go fuck yourself, mate. You're a prick. Which is unnecessary when you think about it. Isn't there a currency called something like the zloty? Well, there's the zloty, the ZLOTY, which was the currency of Poland, and I think there was like one of the Yugoslav countries briefly used it as well. Yeah, I think so. And thank you, Holland Cube, for becoming. For some reason, the YouTube noises aren't working. Why is that? Shall I investigate? Follow YouTube membership.
Oil like a baby otter.
No, for some reason that is not playing. Okay, let's try a different. Let's change the link. Hang on, no, hang on. Hang the fuck on. Change media. That's what we're after, isn't it? What's this?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit. Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
That one also doesn't appear to have any noise to it. Brilliant. It's going super well. Oh, actually, for fuck's sake, I should give the link to fucking No Justice. Seems like we're 2 minutes past when she wanted to start. Fuck's sake. God, I'm a fucking raspberry. Right. Where we are. You can hear the sound. What? Why can't I hear the fucking sound? Well, what did I change it to? Hang on a minute.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Master template, layout, image. But why can't I... What? Fade in, fade out, font settings. Why is it decided that I shouldn't hear that noise now? Because that... Double sound as an echo. Oh, I don't fucking know. Seriously, just fucking kill me in Minecraft is the only thing I can think of. I hate the world and I want to die. I mean, that's not literally true, but you know. You can hear it twice with echo. Okay, well, I mean, watch out, Beatles are boomer. Fuck!
You just assaulted me. You just assaulted me.
You know what the problem was? I'd unplugged my fucking earphones from the jack.
Wank!
I'm not even angry. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. No, actually, I am fucking angry as well, to be fair. I am extremely angry. Kev is Beadle. Isn't Beadle, he's Noel Edmonds. I don't know which one to be more offended about. They're both basically the same, like, devil creature. So I don't know which one to be more pissed off about, really. Anyway, thank you for the money you gave me. Even if I managed to annoy myself no end in trying to work out how to do it. You're wearing an England shirt. I am indeed, yes. That's because I'm so patriotic. No, it's a football shirt. It's a nice football shirt. It's comfortable. Can you hear me now, Clem Fandango? I can hear you, Clem H. Fandango. Shut the fuck up, Clem H. Fandango. What about Tony Hart? Isn't Tony Hart dead? I think Tony Hart's dead. We're just having a debate here. Is Tony Hart dead?
Who's Tony Hart?
Oh, don't make me feel disgustingly old. Oh, no. Okay.
Maybe it's somebody who I know by face, not by name.
No, it's Minecraft for the Kev. It's the only answer. She did a show called Heart on Art, but way back in the day. He was like, he's just an old art guy from a million years ago. John Hart. Hang on. No, that's a different person. Author? What? I don't know then, chat. Who am I thinking?
I mean, are you thinking of children's television presenter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died in 2009.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Yeah, no, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead, chat. Tony Hart. What did I say?
Oh, you said Tony Hart.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't fucking know. Anyway, this has gone superbly well. Right, my tech issues have been the following. I started streaming on 2 wrong channels. I then started streaming on 1 right channel and had to stop again to start on the 2 proper channels. Fucking furious. My intro music didn't play at first, and so I had to restart that. Then, I couldn't get the noise alerts to work for ages, trying to work out what the fuck was going on, including changing the media and all the rest of it, only to find I'd pulled the earplug jack out of the fucking socket. So I was literally just sat in silence like a prick when everyone else could hear it.
Interesting.
So this is my leftist credentials are impeccable tonight.
I mean, my stream issues with tech was that I loaded up Streamlabs. It changed every single one of my scenes to vertical. For no fucking reason.
It does do shit like that. It does it just to fuck with you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just had to fight with it for like 15 minutes. So I was going to try and go live, do my hair, have my makeup done by the time. No, didn't have any time for that. It's a fucking disgrace. No time to get ready. So I'm on here with a completely fucking pale face, pasty face. Because I went live exactly at 9, i.e. 15 minutes after I would have gone live.
Yeah, that's mad. Well, thank you, Mix Vivian Wolf, who says, "Did you know Tony Hart was born a century ago this year?" I didn't, but now I do. Thank you. He would have been very old, but unfortunately, he's very dead.
No, indeed, he did not quite get that far by like 16 years.
Yeah, what a loser. Fuck that guy. No, I'm joking. That's really horrible. Yeah, Tony Hart kind of was like, imagine British Bob Ross, but like for kids mostly. Although Bob Ross was friendly to, like, he wasn't adult content, but like it was aimed more at an adult audience in the sense that He was painting things
Yeah.
that kids don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like talking about like his painting technique so that people could follow along at home. Whereas with the kids, it's more just like, here is the nice painting that I am doing.
Yeah. And he had Morph, of course, which is like just a kid's show as part of his show.
That's true.
Hang on, I like the description there. A less Nancy Rolf Harris. So not a non-Nancy Rolf Harris, a less Nancy one. What is your evidence for that particular sleight of hand? You're damning with faint praise, as friends Rost. You're a monster, sir. Anyway, yeah.
Also, Kev, where's your fucking poppy?
I had it tattooed on my scrotum. Next. Like any good British patriot would.
So, because, Zach Polanski was on Sunday Morning with Trevor Phillips today. He wasn't on the Koonsberg show. And basically all of right-wing Twitter is an absolute fucking giant meltdown. Not because he wasn't wearing a red poppy, because he was wearing a red poppy. Because, of course he's wearing a red poppy. Why wouldn't he be? But because he also wore a white poppy as well. Which is weird.
It's criminal, yeah.
Which is weird because Carla Denyer last year also wore both a white and red poppy and people said nothing.
Well, because she was largely seen as an ineffective force in British politics, which is a shame.
Yeah.
She's a tiny green queen, but she clearly has not had the impact that our boy Zack has had.
Yeah, you know what that means? You know what that means about all of the rightoids? They're rattled, chat. They're
afraid. Actually, Zach Polanski liked my tweet. It was a Labour Party attacking the Green Party, and I just put that little gif of Neil Patrick Harris from Starship Troopers going, "It's afraid! It's afraid!" And
literally.
Zach Polanski liked it because he's Chad as fuck.
I mean, he's literally shitposting himself into being popular. I mean, Aaron Bastani pointed out that he's building a 200,000 strong electoral membership cohort purely out of baiting rightoids on the internet.
And it's working brilliantly because, I mean, obviously we talked about Daniel Finkelstein getting kind of butthurt and kind of coping about things. He's still going. It's been 2 fucking weeks. It's been 2 weeks and he's still not just going, but now he's gotten to the stage of bitchily retweeting people as a vague post about Zach Polanski.
Incredible
which is like
things.
some shit
Incredible.
a 13-year-old schoolgirl does. What the fuck are you... You are a member of the House of Lords. What the fuck? You should be taking coke and fucking... well, hopefully lots of people, consensually. But let's be honest, they fucking don't. Anyway.
Is he going to change his MSN Messenger status to being pro-wealth and pro-growth?
MSN Messenger status? Love it. What a lovely old school reference that is.
Yeah, that's what that's the vague posting that he's doing.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, but he might not be as good as Zach Polanski on social media. Maybe.
Well, yeah.
Who knows?
For people who don't know, by the way, the white poppy is supposed to be there to represent peace.
Yes.
So, what's really funny is I literally saw somebody say, "Oh well, the only reason anyone would wear a white poppy is for virtue signaling." I'm like, all poppy wearing is virtue signaling.
Yeah.
All poppy wearing is I support XYZ cause. I support the current thing. That's what that is. That is what wearing a poppy is. And you know what's fine. It's good, in fact, to say I donate to a campaign to have funds available for veterans' welfare. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to want to be proud to display upon your person. But it's still virtue signalling.
Exactly, yeah. And it was literally a political act as well, because the Royal British Legion, when it started the poppy appeal, were asked to write the word peace on the poppy, and they refused. So people started a peace-related thing themselves. Yeah, because the Royal British Legion are fundamentally warmongers, basically. They want to create a new generation of limbless veterans so that they can carry on the same fucking gravy train, basically. They're the Captain Tom's daughter wanting a swimming pool of politics.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that whilst there is at least some potential idea that there's definitely a kind of you can understand that there is a suggestion that the red poppy is about the ways in which people's lives were lost, and not just the fact that those lives were lost. But one thing that gets left out of this discussion is the idea of, well, maybe this wasn't something that was necessary. At least the World War One certainly wasn't necessary.
Absolutely.
World War Two almost certainly was. Other than it wasn't worth it because the country is now way worse than what it was in the 1930s, according to this 100-year-old veteran. I'm just honestly, we had people we had literal slums in the 1930s. It was like the
child labor was common.
I things aren't great right now for all sorts of reasons, but
life expectancy was about 10 years lower.
Yeah, and it was like, I'm like, what did he say on that clip on Good Morning Britain was the sacrifice wasn't worth the result? I think the Jews that didn't die in the Holocaust probably were happy that their sacrifice was made to stop Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
probably.
And everyone else, because of course, most of the people that were killed weren't even killed in the Holocaust. The World War killed fucking 40-odd million people in Europe. Like the entirety of a continent would have been destroyed. Actually, I think that is worth it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the one that had to pay for that. I didn't have to storm any beaches, it's very easy for me to say. But having gone through that process and seen that happen, you might not be happy that there are some migrants here, mate. But the idea that the people who did actually sacrifice their lives did so in vain for your modern political sensibilities, like, fuck you. I'm sorry. Like, I salute your service and all that bollocks, but I don't have to listen to you as a fucking political pundit. You're a knob.
I mean, it's just the worst thing I hear, the worst kind of canard I think that is common in relationship to World War II especially, is this idea that we were fighting to defend Britain. I'm like, we could have just stayed out of it. We were an island nation. The spread of Nazism, Lebensraum was not going to come to UK shores, but we did what we did, actually not to defend Britain necessarily, but to defend France, to defend Czechoslovakia, right? To defend all of the countries in the periphery of the German Reich.
Quite literally to defend Poland, because that was literally the reason we went in. But yeah, I mean, it could be argued that preemptively we were doing it sort of to defend ourselves in a way, because as always, when you sign a peace treaty with Hitler, he doesn't necessarily always stick to it. That was kind of one of his things. No. So in a sense we were sort of doing it to defend ourselves. But yeah, it was one of the few wars that anyone ever fought where self-interest wasn't the primary thing, which sounds big-headed or like we're bigging it up here. I'm not saying self-interest wasn't involved, but ultimately we went in literally because Poland was invaded. They invaded Poland. They didn't invade Kent. They invaded Poland, and we went to war over that.
Yeah, and it's not like World War One, where it was just a bunch of people who had official allegiances just going in on a war because lol, why not? This was a principle of, if we don't stop the Germans, then the Reich will spread across Europe, and think of all the people that were dying, their lives were lost. We was an anti-imperialist war,
albeit done by imperialists, and it caused the downfall of their empires. But still, yes, ultimately yes. At least it was against empires that were being run in white people countries.
Well, that's true. But then again, of course, it spread around the world, and to defend Europe from itself, the Commonwealth got on our board, went to war on our behalf as well.
Yep, literally true. But white poppy bad, obviously. I love it. Zack Polanski wears a white poppy. You can literally see in the picture he's also wearing the red poppy. Like it's even in the picture. You didn't even use one where he wasn't, or like try and crop it. It's right there.
Literally. It's just the people will get mad about literally anything. Conservatism, as wrote at this point, isn't even about in groups and out groups. It's just about getting mad at things that you've invented in your head. Like someone saying, "Well, Zack doesn't really want to wear a red poppy. He's only wearing it because he'd get mocked if he didn't." I mean, like, okay, I'm sure you know that. I'm sure that you've just decided that you've telepathically looked into Zack Polanski's heart understood what I mean. Like even fucking Trevor Phillips in his interview with Zach Polanski this morning said, "Well, do you also support remembrance of the lives that were lost?" And I'm like, well, what the fucking world did you think that he didn't?
Yeah, that's
the
a really
insane
strange
questions our
question, yeah.
journalists will ask leftists. Like,
mad.
do you just not care about the people who died defending Britain? The guy's a fucking descendant of refugees from European anti-Semitism. Of course he recognizes the sacrifice of the people who lost their lives in World War II. Probably much more than most.
Also, I like it. This is the reason that I'll just get into it. I will never wear a poppy. Now, I say never. Let's say in the near future, right? In the next 5 years, I will not wear one. And I haven't worn one for many years. And the reason I won't do that is precisely because of the pressure put on, implied by that supposition from that person, that Zack Polanski is being forced to wear one. It's that thing. It's the Americanization, if you want.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
So I'm making a really good point, and then Gennaro
Trump
Gattuso
is a dumber
interrupts
modern-day
me.
Charles Lindbergh.
Outrageous. Sorry, you didn't hear that, but anyway. The pressure that's put on it's a kind of Americanized, like, you have to salute and thank people for their service and blah, blah, blah. It's a load of bollocks, okay? Just wearing a poppy doesn't mean shit. The same people who will go, where the fuck's your poppy? What are you, a nonce or something? Don't give a fuck about all of the veterans that are dying in shop doorways with needles in their arms. I've not seen them give a single Saturday up to try and help those poor bastards. They couldn't give two fucks about this. It's the same as the cunts putting flags up on lampposts. Rather than doing anything demonstrably good to make the country worth being proud of, let's just paper over it and pretend. Let's have the most flag-festooned fucking food bank in the world. It's embarrassing. It's a tragic embarrassment, and I will not be fucking bullied by cunts who couldn't care less into wearing a piece of paper. Now, do I genuinely say thank you to the people who have fought for my freedoms? Yes, but I don't say thank you to people who went and killed some Afghan baby. Or tortured an Iraqi. Those people can go fuck themselves. The last person who died for my freedom is virtually dead anyway. If you're still alive and you're a veteran, in all likelihood, you're probably a monster. I'm sorry, you just are. If you're a frontline veteran, if you cooked or whatever, that's a different thing. But if you actually fought, you probably did so for imperialism. Now, there are reasons why people do that, outside of wanting to go and do things like that. They have no option to. It's the only job available to them. In America, it's the only way you can get healthcare or education opportunities. I understand. It's a way of funneling poor kids to get their fucking limbs blown off, etc., etc. I understand that. But there's a difference between accepting that truth and factoring it in and saying, well, we just salute you at random. Salute you completely across the board, I should say. I'm not doing that. I'm never going to do that. You can fucking criminalise me for it. Call me a terrorist, sympathiser, call me whatever you like. I couldn't give two shits. I'm not wearing your fucking poppy, shove it up your arse. Now, Zack Polanski may also feel that way, but why is it bad for a politician to realise that this very simple act of putting that red poppy on actually deflects a lot of the criticisms of what might otherwise be seen as a somewhat extreme position? That's just politics. These same people vote for the slick salesman twats like fucking Nigel Farage, the biggest virtue signaller there ever was, Tony Blair, David Cameron, utter wankers, and yet you want to have a go at a bloke for doing the thing that he's supposed to do anyway. Fuck yourself.
I mean, the reaction is absolutely crazy, and the berating of people over their choice of poppy wearing defeats the entire point of the fact that it's
madness.
That it's supposed to be obviously a personal choice, and I think that it should be good for leftists to wear the poppy just on the grounds of the fact that we do so in what I feel is far more within the spirit of the actual remembrance. Insofar as especially if we wear a red and a white poppy, we understand that these things happen because of poor political choices, and that we want to make better choices that ensure that these things don't happen again.
Sunday
the issue, of
hangout
course, is
W,
that
Kev.
every motherfucker in the Labour government who's wearing any poppy, no matter what the colour, remembering the sacrifices of people, etc., etc., is at the time of recording in diplomatic relationships with a government that's committed genocide.
Yeah.
Like, this is an issue. I think that I will always be happy to do so, even though the Royal British Legion has loads of money. They don't need my donation for the red poppy. But fundamentally, I think that I don't want the red poppy to be the sole preserve of people who weaponize it as a cultural talking point, rather than the actual issue at hand, which was that, especially in the two world wars, especially in World War II, people all across Europe, all across Africa and Asia, gave up their lives to ensure that what Hitler and Mussolini were wanting to do in their own countries, they couldn't spread to the rest of the world. And that is something that I will always hold dear to myself, even if it is being weaponized as a virtue signal by all the other people who treat it as a thing to weaponize against people. And that's what I want to kind of reclaim. But I understand why anybody who's grown up, especially from our generation, who's never ever known a conflict that we've gotten involved in that was in any way righteous whatsoever, save Sierra Leone, maybe.
Yeah.
And what have we done? We've done Afghanistan, we've done Iraq, with Libya, Syria. We've done all sorts. That's just shown that there's no just war when it comes to the imperial core.
Indeed.
In the modern era, especially post 1991. And it really changes our relationship with the military. But I just don't want to give up the sense of what the Poppy campaign should really be about to a bunch of rightoids who think that it's something that is part of a culture war against them, quote unquote.
Well, I don't mind, and I will never attack a leftist who wants to wear the poppy. I was just giving my own personal sort of view on it. But yeah, if you want to wear the poppy, you think it's worthwhile and all the rest of it, go for it, absolutely. But having talked about fascists owning poppies and all the rest of it, this was, I think, the wildest take I've ever seen. Get ready, chat. It was from a loser on Twitter who... Oh, don't say he's deleted it. Has he deleted it? Oh, no, there it is. Jake, right? Who's a Starmer bull licker, right? Absolute loser. Zack wearing the white poppy of fascism here. What the fuck?
I mean, apparently it's because the original Peace Pledge Union in, like, the 1930s were Hitler appeasers, essentially. That's the line that people go with to go against the white poppy as a...
Yeah, but the thing is, they've always stood for peace, so they were, pushing for peace on the basis that that was an unwinnable war and war is bad in general. Do you know who also believed that? The Prime Minister who was elected by the people of Britain.
Oh, yeah, Neville Chamberlain.
Most of the press seemed to believe this was the case. The entire British cabinet, most of Parliament. Because again, when Churchill came to power, it must be borne in mind, he was not accepted righteously, or riotously I should say, in Parliament. Most parliamentarians were very, very, very sceptical of that policy. Now, it ended up being the right policy. I'll give him credit for that. But most of the British establishment had that exact same opinion. And in fact, a great many people in Britain had that opinion. People forget there were peace marches. On the eve of war, there were peace marches involving hundreds of thousands of people. Now, that's hundreds of thousands of people when the population was only 45 million. Bear in mind. So that would be worth potentially 1 million or more people now. This was not a fringe belief. This was not pro-fascism. Although it was from people like the ex-king and so on. They were kind of trying to stoke things up for that reason. But most people just didn't want the repeat of the same thing. Because, like, World War I veterans, everyone knew a World War I veteran. Every town had loads of them. People without legs, arms, eyes. Stories that could fucking curdle your blood. People didn't want that. Especially because now there were even bigger weapons and faster weapons and scarier weapons. And the world would come to know it. They were not wrong in wanting peace. They ultimately, historically, were wrong, but they were not morally remotely wrong for wanting peace. And to suggest otherwise is disgusting. Zack. No, not Zack. Jack. Or no, Jake. What the fuck? What can't I read today? Anyway, Jake, this wanker on Twitter, right, is a disgusting abuser of history and of decency. Go fuck yourself, mate.
I mean, I think that this is only this is the second most demented take that I've seen, which is from previous Minister for Common Sense, Esther McVeigh.
Oh no!
who did this genuine tweet. Bought my poppy as I do every year, and always more than one, as I invariably lose my paper ones. However,
Hang on, is that a virtue signal? Are you virtue signalling by saying you've bought loads of puppies? Oh, you're so virtuous. Please let me lick your toe jam.
Well, again, whether it's the competition where the virtue signaling is so hard that there's a competition for how big the poppy you can wear is, right? Like,
oh, there was a bloke in Parliament this week who had a puppy that took up most of his left tit. It was fucking mental. It looked like the kind of rosette that gets worn by a monster raving loony party candidate. Massive, big fucking thing, you know. I was like, well, anyway, okay, fair dues.
Esther McVeigh continues. However, horrified to discover the Royal British Legion has a head of diversity and inclusion at a wage of about 65k. That's a lot of poppies to sell just for that non-job wage. All the money should be going to veterans, not on politically correct non-jobs.
Exactly. I came here to support people who DIE'd, not DEI'd. Boom!
But just, like most of the RBL's money does not come from the poppy appeal.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It comes from regular one-off, like multiple donations. It comes from people who set up a direct debit every year and
people leave money, huge amounts of money in their wills and stuff when they die to causes like that. Yeah.
They'll set up like a £5 donation each month to the Royal British Legion, which is significantly more than the £2 you give per year.
Yeah.
If you wear a red poppy, it's just. The ways again, because all she's doing is just doing this cultural. This is all just cultural shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she couldn't care less about.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
the actual issue of. Yeah.
Well, firstly, if she'd wanted to, she was in government for 14 years. She could have, done anything about the homeless crisis amongst veterans and all the rest of it. No, couldn't give a fuck about that. Allowed housing for even active service members and their families to become slum dwellings. Frankly. Some of the conditions these people and their families were forced to live in were despicable. I never heard her once pipe up about any of this. If she gave a fuck, she could have done something. She doesn't. This is virtue signalling piled upon virtue signalling piled upon gross inaction in the face of actual problems. Anyway, go fuck yourself.
Again, just like how myopic as an individual do you have to be where you getting more irate about the colour of the poppy that someone chooses to wear, especially when they're wearing both poppies regardless. You can't even attack them for a lack of a red poppy because they're all wearing red and white poppies when they're representing the Green Party, and not get mad about the fact that all of the things that these things are supposed to represent are just being fucking totally and flagrantly violated by our supposed ally in the Middle East.
Indeed. But you know what's even worse? Stolen valour, right? So, at football matches, they like to do these, Remembrance Day events and all the rest of it. Chelsea held their one and involved a tifo, one of those big flag things in the crowd, of a Chelsea pensioner, no less. And as far as I was aware, I don't think the President of China, Xi Jinping, served in the British Armed Forces at all. And yet, there he is. Ozempic Xi Jinping is the tifo they decided to use. I would laughed my bollocks off when I saw that. I thought, there's no way. Is that an actual person? Like, presumably that's like a Gurkha who just looks a bit like Xi Jinping, but like... Cheeky bastard.
Just honestly. And these are all the same people who call other people snowflakes. You know what it is? It's soy right. It is peak soy right. It's just as soy right as the right-toys that are getting mad about people in the youth parliament dressing alternative. Just the level to which these people get their knickers in a twist over quite literally nothing, whilst getting mad, whilst at the same time criticising people on the left for getting mad at things for genuinely legitimate reasons, like because people are starving, or people are dying, or there's a genocide, or why do you care so much about Palestine? Why the fuck do you care so much about the colour of the fucking poppy? Why do you care about the dress code of the House of Commons? And yet you think that a genocide is beyond your fucking concern? These people are the most hypocritical, but also the most soy. Because it is real, it's genuine peak soy to get mad about dumb shit like poppy, like the color of the poppy.
It really is. It really is. Shall we move on to Laura Koonsberg, or do you have any more?
I think we should talk about the BBC for a minute. I think we should talk about the BBC.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Because there are two big BBC stories that have happened over the last few days. One's really genuinely important to talk about. The other one everyone is talking about, and they shouldn't be talking about because it's fucking insane that anyone's talking about it. But we'll go with the important one to start with, which is that, as you've pointed out here on the screen, BBC Director General Tim Davie and new CEO Deborah Turnus are resigning over the fact they spliced together two halves of a Donald Trump speech.
Yeah. That's literally it, chat. That's literally it.
I've not seen the splicing. Have you seen it, Kev?
Yeah, it was essentially a slight hyping up of what Donald Trump was actually doing anyway. In that, like, he did try and fucking get the riot going on January 6th. We know he did. It was pretty fucking obvious in the case. And, like, Tim Davie is a conservatoid stooge who likes Trump. So why the fuck is he carrying the can for this? And why the fuck are there other people who are genuinely fucking biased pieces of shit? Like, who's the Israeli stooge who's like the head of the Middle East department? What's his name?
Oh, the one
Rafi...
who I think is the one who I would like to say for legal reasons is a perfectly legitimate, unbiased, and credible Middle East editor, Rafi Berg.
Rafi Berg, there we go. Why is Rafi Berg not losing his job? For obvious bias.
I mean, I don't think he's biased at all. I would like to make it very clear that I do not accuse Rafi Berg of any institutional bias whatsoever, and both him and his lawyers have convinced me that that is the case.
No, I do.
Because he's suing Owen Jones, because Owen Jones said a bunch of claims in his article for Dropsite News, who are defending the claim on Owen Jones's behalf, even though Jones is getting sued himself. Yeah. And it's something weird where they're not disputing some of the claims, because it's difficult to dispute journalistic claims, because you can have sources that are undisclosed and only get disclosed in the discovery phase of any kind of court case on this. We don't know what's going to happen, but I've not seen any of Rafi Berg's own content himself, so I can't make it my own personal judgment. The big one who does absolutely need to go is Robbie Gibb.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's much higher up than Tim Davie is, and much worse, given that he's the guy who owns the fucking Jewish Chronicle.
Yes. I mean, the institutional bias at the BBC is ridiculous. And yet, to listen to Zionists, you would think they were Hamas Central.
I mean, you can either have the details that were put out in the Dropsite News article will be able to understand more about the veracity of the claims that Owen Jones made in the article when we go through the discovery phase in his court case against Rafi Berg, or Rafi Berg's court case against him, I guess. And that's the basis for a lot of people's justification for critiquing the BBC for being pro-Israel. And the Zionist position is, well, they're pro-Hamas because they won't describe them as a terrorist group. And I'm like, well, that's the opinion of the government. If you prescribe somebody as a terrorist organization, then that is the opinion of the sitting parliament. That is not a fact. That is not something that can be quantifiably judged and then reported on factually. What it can be, and if the BBC were to do that, if they were to describe Hamas as a terrorist organization prima facie, not without the caveat of saying is prescribed by the government as a terrorist organization, which is true, even if that is the opinion of the state, then it would no longer be a public broadcaster. It would be a state broadcaster. Yeah. But there's a difference, because a public broadcaster is funded by the state but is independent and has a code of conduct which makes it have to be impartial. We'll come to that later. And second of all, it would be taking the line of the government. It would be accepting that definition was correct. It may well be. It may well be. But when it is only done so via the state passing laws, the BBC cannot say that to be true, because it is just an opinion.
You know what's not just an opinion? Giving us money is awesome. That's a fact.
true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
you can do so in the form of bits and subs and subscriptions and super chats and all that sort of thing. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Grumpy Queer, for your donations. And thank you to Jacob WR for an on-screen celebration. I don't know what that was, but thank you for it anyway. Yes. So what was the other story?
So this story is far more stupid.
Right.
So, do you know who Martine Croxall is, Kev?
I do indeed. She be the cheeky bitch. She was like, birthing person!
Real Anna Kasparian.
Yes, very much so, yeah. News presenter, transphobe, confirmed.
I mean, it's just so nonsensical, right? So, the long and short of this story is that during a segment that the BBC was reporting on, where she was the anchor in terms of talking about the effects of climate change and hotter temperatures upon people, she read out a quote from a scientist on air about how that would affect people. And in that quote, the scientist said that it would have effects on pregnant people. And she pulled a face and edited that quote to say pregnant women.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things here. There's reason why this has come up again is because she has officially been found to have broken the rules by changing the quote and making a facial expression that confirmed her own bias, which she's not allowed to do. The BBC is supposed to be impartial in all matters. So, anyone getting mad about this, first of all, it would be just as bad, right? It would be just as bad if she had done the opposite. If the original quote had said pregnant women and she changed it to pregnant people and made a funny face, that would also be a breaking of the impartiality clause, and I would be just as critical. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. You also shouldn't be allowed to doct quotes on air. This was not something in the teleprompter as a script from the BBC, so she was editing the script writer. She was editing the quote that they had brought from somebody else. That's journalistic malpractice. You can't edit quotes from other people.
Yeah,
no matter how much you find trans-inclusive language angering.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, she became a fucking star of the transphobic right, naturally.
Well, yeah, like all the rogues gallery of people are finding her to be this kind of anti-woke queen because they don't actually believe in BBC impartiality.
No.
They believe in the BBC personally reconfirming their biases.
Yeah.
And that's what's so frustrating. I can't believe that she's getting mad about it. You can't just be partial. You can't be an openly partial and biased BBC anchor, reporter, or journalist. That is quite literally not your job. It is completely verboten.
Yeah.
In terms of what should be a impartial public broadcaster, but they don't care about this.
No.
Don't care about any of this. Second of all, why are they mad about women being described as people?
Because they're not people. They're a kind of a small little vole creature. The women, little vole. They're not really people to these people. Ironically.
I mean, that's the thing, is that for all of the wins of feminism, for women to be treated equally, for all people to be treated equally, regardless of their gender, we now are in the position where if you don't singularly refer to women as being incubators on legs,
yeah,
then suddenly you're being anti-woman now. You're being a misogynist. This crazy upside down reality that we live in, where calling women people is beyond the pale.
Well, it's bizarre because they'll have a go at you for calling them birthing people. But yet they literally see them only as creatures that give birth and nothing else. To quote the great Jebediah Kenneth Rowling, those are the real names. What was it? Women are egg producers. Egg producers! What, like a fucking chicken? What are you talking about? They're human beings. They're fully formed human beings. For fuck's sake. God.
Yeah, they're the large gamete havers. That's it, right? They're the ones with large gamete potential.
Which is so gross. Like, honestly, most people who go out there to be misogynistic aren't as misogynistic as transphobes.
No, exactly.
They just are. They just like the way they see women is worse than most people who are just like, oh, make me a sandwich, bitch. Like, they're literally worse than that. God almighty.
Exactly. It's just genuinely insane. Like, the drag queen Crystal was debating with Tom Swarbrick, who is a genuinely rancid, fucking transphobic slug over on LBC. Tom Swarbrick literally could not understand the very, very simple points that were being made by Crystal. Like, well, this is what this is about, is an inclusive language, inclusive of trans men and non-binary people. Like, if you object to this language, you object to women being described as people. Because even if you don't believe that trans men are men, and you don't believe that non-binary identities are valid, or whatever it is, you can believe that all you want. You'd be wrong, but you're perfectly in line to believe that. The phrase pregnant people doesn't preclude that from also being the case. You just happen to believe that this bracket only includes women, but not using the language which is exclusionary of trans men is the thing that these people are getting mad about.
Yeah. Oh, thank you in chat for reminding me of adult human chicken. Still the greatest sentence ever put to twitter.com. Amazing. Because they thought they cooked with that one. Adult human chicken. Brilliant. Geniuses.
Adult human. That's just, honestly, it really does beg a belief the level to which these people get mad about these things. Because, yeah, as I said before, they're not here to be supportive of BBC impartiality. They just want it to do the things that they agree with and to say the things they agree with. And that's just not what it's there to do.
Oh, we've got a genius in YouTube chat. What is a woman? I'll lay it out for you here. A woman is the kind of person who covers their drink when you're near them. There you go. Now run off and go and play with some crayons in the corner. Anyway, yes. So
that's let me find the clip from Tom Swarbrick, because it came up on my TikTok feed, I think. Let me find it. It's not there. I don't know where I saw the clip. Either way, it came up on my feed. And actually, I tell you what, we can watch. We can watch the Zack Polanski was asked about this by Trevor Phillips, and I shit you not, all this does is prove that Trevor Phillips is even more stupid than we thought.
Is that possible?
More stupid than... Yeah, apparently it was possible for him to look more stupid than he could otherwise look. We're gonna pop the clip in your DMs, Kev.
By all means. Yes, and again, you are selling high there, because my opinion of him is like basically so low you couldn't limbo under the bar. Okay, and yet you're selling it as him being more stupid than usual. Let's have a cheeky gander, shall we? So there he is with the true British patriot Poppy and the evil fascism Poppy.
What I will say, like, the person who posted this clip, a guy called Farouk, he seems fine. He posted mostly progressive stuff. But you know what's been a really weird development recently? People just describing discussions around trans people as about trans. And I'm like, trans what? Trans butane?
Transatlantic.
Or butene. Butene is a optical isomerism. There's optical isomerism butene. Yeah, like you talk about trans butene, trans 2-butene. You talk about trans alpine gall,
trans fats, trans Siberian soyboy.
Yeah, like no trans people. That's for some reason people have decided to start talking, like, describe this as there's talking about the issue of trans. The trans people. It's about the people here, the thing that's happening here. It's a description of people.
Or maybe he thought it was about trains and he just can't type very well.
Anyway, the clip is an interesting one. So this is Zack Polanski being asked to comment on the Maxine Croxall thing on Sky this morning.
Okie doke.
This issue of gender identity and so on, you believe trans women are women. Was the BBC right to censor its presenter Martin Croxall?
Censor? What censoring took place? I don't see any censoring take place. She was still literally on air the same day that this was revealed. The same day this decision came down, she was still presenting the news that day. She hasn't been censored in the slightest.
No, she just had an impartiality complaint upheld.
Yeah.
Multiple had been upheld because she wasn't impartial. She broke the rules. Yeah. Again, it's really I want to make it explicitly clear that if she had done the opposite, it would also have been a breaking of impartiality rules.
Yep.
If it had said pregnant women and she had said pregnant people, because it's her personal belief that that inclusive term is what should be being used, then she would have also broken those impartiality rules, and she would have also doctored a quote live on air as well. Both of those things are not okay.
Also, you're just a cheeky prick anyway. Like, there are editorial standards to be upheld. Essentially, you are there to read an auto cue. They could replace you with a fucking robot. Just read the thing on the fucking screen. I don't want to be too Anchorman about it, but, like, just read everything that's there. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
For her eye roll at having to say the words pregnant people.
Well, I'd push back first of all and say it's not a belief. Trans women are women and trans men are men, and also non-binary identities also exist. And I think it's always important.
Wow. 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 No, that's actually just based, yeah. Cool. Like, that shouldn't be controversial, and in the year of 2025 it has become controversial. Which is
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
True.
You just missed the greatest timing ever, because I went that can be, and then Gennaro Gattuso interrupted with sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Maybe shit.
Which is not correct, actually, Gennaro. It's always shit.
To be really clear about that, in terms of the BBC, they obviously have their own editorial guidelines. It's not for me to tell the BBC how to conduct themselves. In fact, it's for me to be scrutinised. If you're asking me my opinion, though, I think it's really important that journalists are independent and partial, and I think eye-rolling as a journalist is clearly an unprofessional
I think she just said, if trans women are women, why don't we just say women?
If trans women are women, why don't we just say women?
Yeah, who needs pregnant people when you've got...
Why the fuck does this absolute... insert ableist slur here... think that trans women are part of any part of this debate? It just shows you how we have people mediating this discussion on mainstream media who don't even know the basics of the shit that they're talking about, when he thinks that the discussion here is about trans women. Do you remember that meme that came up on Twitter about like people getting mad and pointing towards trans women going, it's all your fault, and they look up from their Nintendo Switch and go, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Am I part of the discussion? This is about trans men. The reason why we say pregnant people is because it's inclusive of people who were assigned female at birth who transition to be men, because they are pregnant men when they become pregnant, and therefore pregnant people is inclusive of them. This is what someone said. There's probably a good 40 to 50% of people commenting on this story who think that the term pregnant people is so that trans women don't feel as bad about the fact that they can't get pregnant. We are not part of this discussion.
Yeah.
He was the former chair of the Equality and Human Rights Commission, and he doesn't know what a trans man is.
No.
I just need people to understand this. This is the mediator for the discussion on the second biggest mainstream news program on a Sunday morning. And he doesn't understand that the whole point of this whole discussion is that the term pregnant people is there specifically so that it includes both pregnant women and pregnant trans men and pregnant intersex people or whatever have you. And he just doesn't even get it. And he's putting in trans women because in the eyes of most people who look at the trans discussion, the discussion around trans people, because they just have a negative polarization to the image of trans women in their head, which is someone who's transitioned in their 50s or whatever, and they don't pass for other clocky like trans women. That's literally the only image they have of what a transgender person is. They don't understand about what young trans women exist, and they all pass incredibly well. They don't understand that trans men exist and non-binary people exist and intersex characteristics are a thing. They don't understand any of this. And so we have the former chair of the EHRC, now mainstream journalist, asking questions that make literally no sense because he hasn't got a fucking clue what he's talking about.
Indeed. So not only is he wrong in those ways, though, but even if trans women were a part of the discourse, I'll answer his point. Why do we say tall women and short women? Why do we say black women and white women? Why do we have any qualifier to any other descriptor? It's because people have more than one thing about them. So in order to describe them in two ways, you use two fucking words! crazy, I know.
Turns out that there are ways in which that you can narrow down a category to a thing called like a subcategory.
Indeed.
So that you can have a more respective cohort based upon the discussion that you're having on the context.
If goth women are women, why do you use the word goth? You see?
Surprise, surprise.
It's very strange. It's a very strange and stupid thing to say, isn't it?
It's
Because I
almost
could
like
say,
Trevor Phillips.
if black people are people, why do we say black?
It's almost as if Trevor Phillips is a moron because he is one.
Even though, like you say, he was the head of the Human Rights and Equalities Commission, and he really should know better. Like, it's really not that difficult. I'm not asking him to, like, to know the minutiae of every single issue. Just basic shit. Really basic. Like, what kinds of people exist?
The word, women.
Well, I think those are different questions to the question you're asking me, which is, should a journalist be eye-rolling? And I just think it's quite obvious, no, they shouldn't.
Zach Belansky, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
See, he's so good. He's so good. Don't get bogged down in the nonsense. He wants you to start going on about women and cocks and stuff, right? No. Just say, no, well, she shouldn't be eye-rolling. It's unprofessional. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
fine.
Again, like, trying so hard to get him to want to get bogged down in the culture when he's gone, this is about impartiality. Don't be impartial if you want to represent the public broadcaster.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
He's so good at this. He's so good at this.
He really is. Which is why they're going to try and kill him. I've decided MI5 are definitely going to try and do him in. Like, he's too effective. His swag is too strong, okay? They can't handle him. No amount of Czechoslovak spy allegations are going to take this motherfucker down. So they're going to Novichok him or something. Jesus Christ. Anyway. That's positive note.
But yeah. Turns out women aren't people anymore. They're not people. That's what the long and short of this discussion is, that no longer can women be described as people.
Yeah. Well, what?
Only walking incubators.
True. Who was the Greek philosopher that we've mentioned before? A man.
Behold a man, Diogenes.
Diogenes, yes. It's very much Diogenes. The lesson has not been learned thousands of years later. Fucking hell. Anyway. Yes. Shall we move on to, the important thing, which is award-winning journalism?
Oh, it's got Lisa Nandy on. There's another great clip with Lisa Nandy that we definitely have to watch as well at some point.
Is that the clip where she lies again about the thing she already lied about?
Yeah, she gets specifically asked about the thing that she lied about, asking her why she lied, and she just lies again.
Because that's just if you carry on lying forever, nothing bad will happen. Honestly, the malfeasance of this government is as repugnant as the Tories. Like, the only difference is, at least the Tories stole millions. Like, that theft makes sense. With the Labour Party, it's like, a £1,500 donation or whatever. But the malfeasance is exactly the same. They're corrupt to the core.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and for such little in return as well. Like,
yeah.
Well, whenever Greens Organised put up a short form video about a member of the Labour Party being crooked, it always starts with, what politician could you buy for 190k? Surely Rachel Reeves is pricier than that, and just go through our donations.
Yeah.
We remember. This is the cenotaph in London's Whitehall. Those who fought for our country and the leaders who sent them into conflict will gather to commemorate the lives lost and the service given. In an era of modern war...
Where the fuck is your puppy? No, seriously, where is her puppy? Is she not wearing one?
Someone's just posted a picture on Twitter of a fucking Christmas lights done up as poppies. It's not supposed to be a celebration. This isn't War Christmas.
Hang on, you haven't got your poppy tree out. Oh, I've got all my remembrance gifts underneath the poppy tree. With the corpse of a service person on top.
Blackpool poppy illuminations.
Oh, again, the Americanization of it. It's just yank bollocks. Stop trying to... Like, they're going to start doing fucking trick-or-treating for it as well. What's next?
The new head of the military tells us this morning the UK is helping protect Belgium from attacks suspected to be from Russian.
What the fuck? We're now protecting Belgium. It's not even a real place. What's the point? Just let them have Belgium. Who cares?
Drones.
The Defence Secretary and I agreed at the end of last week that we would deploy our people and our equipment to Belgium to help them.
We've invaded Belgium! Fuck yes! Sorry. I will do serious stuff, I promise.
We have Battle of
And
Verdun
a
Part
new
2 Electric
frontier
Boogaloo.
online.
Yes.
One mother tells us her son took his own life after an obsessive relationship with a virtual girlfriend, a chatbot that wasn't real.
It's like having a predator or a stranger in your home, and it is much more dangerous because a lot of the times children hide it.
With us live this morning, the culture...
Myron, don't ask who named 3 famous Belgians, because I will just name like 20 footballers and Poirot. That's it. That's all anyone knows.
Secretary Lisa Nandy, and for the...
Who?
Lint. I'm assuming Lint is the surname with which the chocolate was named after.
The chocolatier? Are you sure he's definitely Belgian?
I thought, isn't Lint is Belgian chocolate, right?
Well, it's Belgian chocolate, but was he a Belgian man?
Oh no, I think Lint and Sprungli. I actually think that they're Swiss. They're a Swiss chocolatier.
Outrageous.
And it was Rodolphe Lint. Yeah, he was Swiss. Oh well, there you go.
Oh, as friends Ross. Oh, now you're singing Jeremy Doku. You've moved on from De Bruyne very quickly. Yeah, farewell. I hardly knew ye. Jesus.
Oh, Guillain is the Belgian one.
Oh well, there you go. Jean-Claude Van Damme, also true. Yeah, okay, yeah, we get it. Belgians, Jesus.
The Conservatives, the Shadow Defence Secretary.
Yeah, not a good one though. That one, really.
Infamous, more like.
Yes.
Morning, and because of Remembrance Sunday, we get to spend our time together until 10:15 today because of our special coverage. And with me at the desk for that whole time, the internet expert, Professor Gina Neff, welcome to you, the environmental campaigner and presenter, Chris Packham, and broadcaster, Susanna Reid. A warm welcome to our trio for the...
Love Chris Packham. Not only is he pretty based, but he got me, like, I didn't even know much about animals. He and Michaela Strachan were my introduction to the concept of animals.
Oh, I fucking love Michaela Strachan.
Love it.
The Really Wild Show.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Love that shit.
This morning.
He's so based. This is actually awful what happened to him, but he's so based that he had pro-hunting people nailing dead foxes to his gate.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy and mental, and I hope those people go to prison forever, but you have to have done some pretty base shit to annoy them that much. Like, I would take that as a mark of your own personal character, that you've annoyed the worst people that much. Yeah.
Let's start, as we always do, with a look at the news. And it is Remembrance that sets the agenda for the Sunday Mirror and the Sunday Express. Stories about veterans on the front of both. And also a picture of Prince George joining his mum, the Princess of Wales, at the Remembrance Festival in London.
Where's his poppy, the little cunt? It's probably just cut.
And it's just like, and which, like, again, like, the way in which it's been turned into an absolute, like, a giant fucking event. Yeah. Insofar as the newspapers, rather than talk about the reality, was going, oh, look what we can put into our remembrance issue. You know what? You know who really love the royals. You know what? You buy. We love dead soldiers so much that you should buy our newspaper.
Yeah.
Look, we managed to fit in like this pull-out sheet. So you can have a poster of your favourite royals wearing poppies to put on your wall. Better pay us £1.75 to get your copy today. Buy the like remembrance poppy. monthly magazines where the first edition is only £1 and then it's £17,000 per month every month after to get the full set. Every petal of poppy you have to buy a new edition for.
Yeah, I feel like we should do a sarcastic version of it and do like a newspaper special edition, and it's just pictures of like corpses at the Somme. Just show you the real side of what this is, not the glamorous nonsense. Just like a bloke at Gettysburg with his guts blown out, like that sort of thing. Because that's what war is. It's not this nicey shit where fucking Liz Truss gets to pretend to be a real human and wear a poppy and stand at the fucking cenotaph for the next 50 fucking years. No.
I mean, honestly, at this point, the news should just be pictures of dead people in Gaza. Like,
Yeah.
that would be a more accurate description of the things that are important. It's just again, like, there's no sense of remembrance left.
Yeah.
No sense of, none of this is about remembrance anymore.
No, of course.
And again, I will still wear the poppy because I would like it to be about that, and I still have reverence for that. But all of the fucking people getting mad about poppy season, they've just forgotten. They've forgotten all about what this is for, and it's now just become a festival. It's it's just Glastonbury. It's just jingoist Glastonbury.
Yep.
Last night. But for the Sunday Times and the Sunday Telegraph, it's the BBC, which we expect to apologise tomorrow after allegations about news coverage and a...
I'm not going to apologise for any of the other lies, though. The 2 years of whitewashing a genocide. No, that bit's fine.
Panorama documentary. But the Observer leads with the impact of the budget that's coming soon, how that will affect the younger generation.
Honestly, I can't wait for this. It's going to be an absolute car crash. They're doing everything they can to avoid taxing anyone with any actual fucking money, and so taxing everybody else and killing any hope. Like, it's literally... it could bring the government down. It's going to be that fucking bad. I can't wait.
I mean, I don't think it'll bring the government down, but what it certainly will do is push their poll ratings into the absolute fucking abyss.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think there's going to be an election because Labour would literally be voting for suicide. But it could be the end of her as Chancellor and him as Prime Minister.
I mean, honestly, at this point, you might as well just bite the bullet and do all of the tax rises that obviously are necessary. Obviously, the problem is that there isn't enough tax on wealth. I do think that income tax probably does have to go up too.
Yeah.
But they could do all. They could and should do all of these things to ensure that we have the same kind of public spending envelope that they have in Nordic countries.
Yes.
We could nationalize more things, maybe. Either way, and then just go. And then they know because they're already going to get fucking annihilated in the locals next year. You might as well just accept that fact is going to happen.
Yeah.
Carry on until the locals, and then get removed, and then you can justify Reeves and Starmer resigning off the back of poor election results, because as soon as they resign over a budget, that will send the fucking markets into an absolute crisis. And that's how stupid our economic system is that the opinion that the bond auctions have over the state of the Chancellor's future can decide whether our government can afford to spend money. It's crazy.
Yeah, indeed. Hello there, Hannah Reloaded and the Hannah Reloaded-ites. How are you? Everyone go and follow Hannah, obviously. They do fantastic conspiracy theory nonsense type stuff. Not that they do conspiracy, they cover conspiracy theorists and how stupid they are. Hello there, everybody. If you're new here, hit the follow button. It's free. I'm Kevin Logan, a leftoid from the UK. I'm also here with No Justice MTG, who is likewise a leftoid from the UK.
I am indeed a leftist from the UK. Willie points a caveat, right? I know that you don't like people from the UK. It's fair enough. However much you hate people from the UK, we hate them more.
True.
We have to live with them.
But you know what I also hate? Copyright theft. And that's what you just heard, chat.
True.
Anyway, yes, we're covering UK stuff tonight, but if you hit the follow button, you might come back at another time when we're following something that you like as well. But maybe not, I don't know.
Isn't Hannah Reloaded a Canadianoid?
American,
okay.
Yeah, Michigan, which is close to Canada, but not actually Canada.
You can pick up Canadian phone signal.
Probably, yeah. You probably pick up the radio stations, you know.
Well, Davina McCall's successful breast cancer operation splashes the sun on Sunday. And she found what was wrong, actually, after a campaign that had had the involvement of one Susanna Reid. You're still involved in that campaign, aren't you? And we're pleased to see you here this morning. Let's though start with Remembrance Day, because it is a special day for so many families and so many people, whether they have personal involvement in the military or not. Chris, is it something that you think about this day? Is it kind of marked in your diary?
Yeah, it's a legacy left from my parents. They were both children in the war. They both had quite traumatic experiences. So in the post-war period, obviously when I was a kid, that patriotism ran very strong. My father and I were all building an airfix Spitfire, and I would be taken to the Southampton cenotaph during Remembrance Day. And then much later, when I was in my 20s, because my father's interested in military history, I read a series of books by Lynn MacDonald, and they had been transcribed from first-hand accounts of survivors from the First World War. And to be honest, the book was so deeply shocking that I came to London on the train and I just wanted to stand and look at the faces of those primarily men, but some of them women as well, the nurses that had treated them. That had gone...
Woke! He mentioned the birthing people! No!
Through that trauma and somehow survived and rebuilt their lives. So the mental health aspect was something which I found deeply concerning.
I mean, that's an
I think it's
incredible
interesting,
story just from...
I think one of the reasons why that there is such a massive hype around Remembrance Sunday for a lot of these people and the poppy watch shit that they do, I think a lot of this is because they genuinely, because patriotism and nationalism is something that they believe in axiomatically, rather than for any good reason. You know, they don't love the UK because of what the UK does do and what it is. They love it because it's the UK and they were born there. It doesn't matter whether it's bad, they will not criticize it and they will love it unconditionally. And so it's really difficult to come to terms with that fact when you genuinely look at the foreign policy and the wars that we've been engaged in for the last 70 years, you realize we were on the wrong side every time.
Yeah,
that there's been very few just wars in the post Second World War period in our country. So they have to continue telling themselves that our country is good. We did this one good thing 80 fucking years ago, and we have to continue talking about it. Because if they stopped talking about it, you'd have to contend with the fact that no, actually Britain isn't great. The wars that we've engaged in since the Second World War haven't been just, and we've done terrible things. And you can do things, and you can acknowledge that fact, and as I do, still commemorate the sacrifices that were made by the greatest generation to stop the spread of fascism. But the kind of people who are now going, well, the country's terrible, we fought for nothing, but you have to remember Remembrance Sunday, are the same people who were parroting the lines that people in the BUF were chanting on the streets of this country in the 30s.
Well, literally. And like, I mean, I ask people, why should I be proud of any of these other things, right? And the same people who have absolutely no answer to that are the same people who are arguing that British service personnel who kill people in Northern Ireland, innocent protesters, should not have to face any punishment whatsoever. Like, I'm sorry, if you gunned people down in the streets of Derry, you're scum. I'm not fucking saluting you. I want you locked up in jail forever.
And but they got away with it. Fucking Soldier F got completely away with it.
Yeah, no one's going to get fucking punished for any of that thing. No one gets punished for anything. If you're powerful enough, or if you're useful to the powerful, you will not face any consequences. Look at Hillsborough. Look at fucking Grenfell. These people don't face punishment.
I mean, the people who were in charge of like that sector of the economy under the Conservative government, all four of the people who were supposed to make sure that Grenfell didn't happen, all four of them been fucking put on the honours board.
Yep.
Put on the honours board. This isn't Lords. Been given honours. They were on the honours list.
Well, look, they made 3 figures. Okay, their name goes up on the fucking board.
3 figures of deaths.
3 figures of
in
death.
Grenfell Tower.
Honestly, they took many fifers that day. Yes. That's a very grim joke, Kev. Don't do that.
But just like no fucking accountability in our political class at all.
No,
not a single one.
Well, look, yeah. I asked them like, well, why should I be proud of this country? And it's like, I'm sorry, a nation that is as rich as we are, at least in London, and has food banks, is not a nation of which one can be truly proud. I don't think. You have to be mindless to be very proud of this place. And I am not that.
One person's connection, Susanna, as the generations change and we move through, do you think that importance is still felt by as many people?
I hope so, because that sacrifice, that fight
is so important. It led to the freedoms that we still enjoy today. On Good Morning Britain this week, we had an absolutely devastating interview with a World War II veteran, Alec Penston, who talked about the fight for the freedoms and suggested it wasn't worth it, considering the country that we have today. An absolutely devastating indictment.
Yeah, it would have been much better had the Nazis taken over. I'm sure that wouldn't have had any ramifications on the modern day at all.
Yeah, we should just allowed Lebensraum to happen. Again, we weren't defending ourselves necessarily. This was about Poland.
Yeah.
We have to consider.
Just so frustrating again that while we were fighting for our freedoms, no, we were fighting for the freedoms of the Poles.
Yeah. The Indians were fighting for our freedoms. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, once we got involved and pulled in all the Commonwealth, they were fighting for our freedoms. But our country took a very principled position to stop Lebensraum because it was, ontologically evil.
Yeah. It's so bizarre to me as well. Like poor fuckers from New Zealand and Australia just went, yeah, there's another war on the other side of the world. Okay, let's go there then. What? Why did you do that? What the fuck? Really not your fight, lads, to be honest with you. Again.
But it was Anzac Day is a good thing because it's there to commemorate the fact.
Although unfortunately,
these people didn't need to get involved. They didn't need to get involved, but they recognised that what the Axis powers were doing was a crime against humanity, and it needed to be stopped by any means necessary.
Yeah, but unfortunately, from my Australian friends, I'm told that Anzac Day, it would appear, has been taken over in many of the same ways that fucking Remembrance Sunday has as well. It's been used as a kind of jingoistic, nationalist, flag-wanking nonsense. Yeah.
What freedoms those World War II veterans fought for and how we honour them, what those freedoms mean to us today. And Gina...
Okay, but it's all wars, isn't it? It's not just the Second World War. I'm sorry, am I supposed to also salute the members that went to Nigeria and slaughtered people? Was that the Bloody Sunday guys? Am I supposed to be like, oh, well done, lads. You really protected my freedom from those innocent protesters. Am I? Really?
Quite.
Sorry, the prisoners of Abu Ghraib or whatever were not like a threat to my fucking freedom. You really didn't need to be doing any of that.
Well, it's funny. Whilst we talk about protecting our freedoms that weren't necessarily at risk, in Croatia they have commemorations to the Nazi collaborators who were killed by the partisans. This is true. Every single year, the Croatian state holds a vigil for the victims of the Bleiburg repatriations. This, for people who don't know, is the time when the fleeing Nazi collaborators in Croatia went to they fled to Austria, hoping to find the Axis powers there, and they actually found the British military who defeated the Axis powers, and they, having found another enemy army post surrender, the UK army was just like, no, we're just going to send you to the partisans. The partisans can choose how to deal with you. And whilst we were out here getting Nazi scientists over to work on the Manhattan Project, the Croatian and the Yugoslav partisans, when the collaborators were repatriated to Yugoslavia, they put them in a mine shaft and bombed it. Not exactly the most.
Were they given a fair and free trial though?
Yeah, and maybe not. Maybe there wasn't a free and fair trial for the Ustache, right? But I mean, these are people who were quite literally to understand the Croatian Ustache and their role in World War II. There was a concentration camp in Croatia that was so bad, even the Nazis were shocked. Even the German Nazi officials who were sent to oversee or to check up on what the extermination, it wasn't concentration, it was extermination camp policy in Croatia, they said, this is even more fucked up than what we're doing, was their line on this. So I can understand why the partisans didn't think these people deserved the right to live.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yes,
but every year they mourn the Barbara Pitt massacre, and I'm just like, well, I don't think it was a good thing that people were murdered without due process in mass graves, right? But they were kind of Nazis, and by kind of I mean even more Nazi than the Nazis.
Yeah. Jasenovac?
Jasenovac, I think it is the way it's pronounced, yeah.
The Ustase regime, Europe's only Nazi collaborationist regime that operated its own extermination camps.
Which was so brutal, even the SS were shocked.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Yep.
And yes, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they went, we discovered your crimes. Nothing can justify this. You're all going in the pit. Bye.
Yeah. Anyway, do you like mining? Because you're gonna the last thing you see will be a mine. Bye.
Well, it's just Tito slaps roof of mine. This mine can fit so many reactionaries in it.
True. You ever wish people didn't conflate being fondness for your local culture with the loyalty of a state owns a land? Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, this is my problem with the nation state, is it makes people fucking droids. Makes people drones for a flag or for a piece of land that some dickhead a million years ago drew a line on. I don't give a fuck.
Well, because what's interesting is if you actually poll migrants to this country, they show a lot more national pride than people who were born here, because they chose to come here. They chose to come to this. They chose this to make this their home. Yeah, of course they have pride in it. I'm here because I won the fucking uterus lottery.
Yeah. Oh, I can't give a doxus. Brings a whole new meaning to Mein Kampf. There you go.
Oh dear. So I've got to say thank you to President Sunday for the raid arena. Welcome in, President Sunday viewers. He came in at basically the wrong time, where I was jokingly in support of mass murder. I'm not in support of mass murder. I want to make that very clear.
Oh, so you're pro-Nazi? Pro-Nazi, okay. Yeah.
See, we were doing a bit of a jokey joke. President Sunday viewers. I also want to say thank you to some gifties from Goat Boy Aaron for the 5 gifties and Chaos Jordan Triple P for re-upping their memberships. Thank you very much, all. Much appreciated. Thank you for everyone. Go and follow President Sunday for a very educational, high-quality content over on the YouTubes.
Except he said I looked unwashed. He did. He put on unwashed nerd or something in one of the titles. It's okay. Bit much. Anyway,
it's harder to tell now that you've shaved your hair.
Well, exactly. I look a little bit cleaner now, but I've never been unwashed. I just look messy. Anyway, thank you, Wayward Historian, for gifting a sub to User Nameless Entity. Much love to you both. Okay.
So really, Minty asks, am I in favour of limited and specific murders?
For legal reasons, no. Murder is always bad.
I mean,
Thank you for the question, officer.
But looking at the way we have these ceremonies in the
worth pointing out, President Sunday Raiders, I am here with Kevin Logan. Everyone should go and follow Kevin Logan by just searching Kevin Logan on YouTube. Go and subscribe. It's free.
It is free, and I promise I'm not as pro-death as I was when we had that chat with President Sunday a few weeks ago.
Well, it's incredible. Yeah, you had a chat with President Sunday where you said you apparently were pro-death, and they raided in immediately while having a conversation joking about mass exterminations.
Well, you were. I wasn't saying that. I was just doing a joke based upon the name of a Hitler book, which is totally different. It's fine, honest.
National moment that many people mark. What do you think? Do you think it's quaint and maybe a bit strange, or what goes through your mind?
We don't talk much about World War I as a reflection or remembrance in the United States. So it was one of the first things that really helped me make the transition to this country and helped me feel now as a new British, that we take the time to not just think about our immediate past. We don't think simply about the threats that are facing us in the future, but we really honor that legacy and history. And for me, being able to stand in those memorial and remembrance ceremonies has been powerful as part of coming into the country and feeling a part of it.
Honestly, wanting to become British should be a reason to exclude somebody. Because they're clearly not a person who's going to be of sound mind.
Yeah. Well, again, the thing is that the Americans didn't really sacrifice that many people in World War II.
Yeah, came in a bit late again, lads.
They provided a huge amount of actual physical stuff.
Yeah.
They provided a lot of planes and war armaments.
Actually, not that many
Lives-
planes, to be fair, but yeah.
Lives, not so many.
Not so
But
many.
again, it's interesting that she says, "Well, we honor the past." I'm like, well, that's because we have nothing else to honor between then and now. That's the whole point. There's a really great line in The History Boys, in that we very rarely try to admit that World War One was at least partially the UK's fault or Britain's fault at the time. You know, that in reality, we do so much remembrance, as I said before, because we just don't want to forget that we've always been at least partially responsible for other problems that have happened.
The balance of powers in Europe thing was essentially Britain, for its own self-interest, going, if everyone's at war with each other, we'll win because we're fine. We're on our own over here. European dickheads. Oh no, it's gone very badly wrong. Is basically the story of the late 19th into the earliest 20th century. What was I going to say? Someone said something that I wanted to respond to, which is... Oh yeah, except for refugees. Yeah, I wasn't suggesting that literally anyone who comes into the country wanting to be British is mad. I just meant, like, if you're rich and can afford to go anywhere and you come here, you're mental.
Well, we're glad to have you as a new Brit with us here in the studio this morning, and we'll be back with our panel
You see, because she's a white one, so she's good.
later in the programme. It is a big day, but it's been a bit of a grisly week for the government again. Lisa Nandy's department, Culture, Media and Sport, used to be nicknamed the Ministry of Fun. But frankly, it can cause as many headaches as many other government departments, as she has discovered this week. This is a man called David Cogan. Now, he is to be appointed to be the new football regulator to try and solve some of the problems in the sport. But Lisa Nandy was found this week and said sorry for unknowingly breaking the rules because David Cogan, who was
totally unknowing. She had no idea that he'd given her thousands of pounds. No, it's that slipped my mind.
Well-known Labour supporter had donated £2,900 to her 2020 Labour leadership campaign. Lisa, you're with us for the first time since the election, actually, so we're glad to have you in the studio. But you've not had a great week, so let's just go through what went wrong. David Cogan's name was brought in for consideration after applications had closed. Just really simply, why didn't you declare that he specifically had given money to you before he got the job?
Well, it's not quite correct that his name was brought in after applications had closed. He was actually approached to apply for the position under the last Conservative government who began this process. He'd previously been appointed by Rishi Sunak to the board of Channel 4 and he was approached by the department and went on to the original shortlist.
And he's a well-respected media executive. There's not a question about his ability to do the job, which has been welcomed by many people. But why did you not declare he had specifically given money to your leadership campaign?
Because I didn't know. And the report, there's been a thorough report by the Public Appointments Commissioner, who is independent of government, that has accepted that I didn't know about that donation. It was below the amount that was required to be declared to the Electoral Commission. It didn't.
Oh, so it didn't matter. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. But thankfully, she has apologised to the Prime Minister, who's gone, and that's fine as well. Except, of course, he also had fucking donations from Cogan when he was running to become Labour Party leader. So he has donated to the Prime Minister and the Minister for Culture, Media and Sport, both of whom have red-lighted, or green-lighted, I should say, his appointment to this position. But, you know, there's no corruption going on here at all from anybody, so it's fine.
It's just... And again, she goes, well, it wasn't legally over the amount required to be published as one of my donations. I'm just like, interesting how they have such a problem with remembering the people who've donated to them. Insofar, but Morgan McSween just forgot that he had to declare all those donations from all those rich people during founding Labour together.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Unbelievable shit. The levels of corruption in this government are ridiculous, especially given the amounts. Because, like I say, the Tories stole more money, but in terms of the amount of times they've been corrupt, the Labour Party might be on track to set records for the sheer like small time grift of it all. Embarrassing stuff.
Didn't appear on any of those lists, and it wasn't in the information that I requested and was given at the time. As soon as I did find out, of course, I declared it, I chose to declare it, and I recused myself from the process. So I didn't appoint Mr Cogan. I didn't take the decision on that. It was delegated to the Sports Minister.
But why was it not discussed at the interview that he was...
Who is your underling? And so we'll do basically what you wanted them to do anyway.
What's the Dennis Skinner line?
Was it when things go tits up, they blame the staff or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I hope this close enough. Whenever the master blame, when after master gets something wrong, they blame the servants. I think it is.
Yeah.
...is a Labour donor.
It was discussed at the interview that he was a Labour donor. It just wasn't discussed that he donated specifically to me because I.
So that's okay. It was just general corruption rather than me specific corruption. Oh, that's cool. No, I am totally at peace with this then. Great. Fucking Christ Almighty! These people they just can't see it, can they?
There's the Seamus Milne article every single time. They can't see why they are hated.
Yeah.
Didn't know about that. He hadn't recalled it. But as soon as that was discovered, as I said, as soon as I was given that information, that same day, I'd put that information into the public domain and recused myself from the process.
But he didn't think that it wasn't, he didn't realise that it was relevant to say to the world and say to civil servants and talk at his interview about the fact that he had given money to the person who was the Secretary of State.
David Cogan is somebody who is well known to be associated with the Labour Party and has never made
everybody
any
knew
secret.
that, but this is about the important process that surrounds these appointments. And you say, first of all, that you didn't know, and then second of all, although the Public Accounts Commissioner says it wasn't discussed at the interview, that it didn't occur to him to bring it up either. Why did your department not disclose that he'd donated nearly £35,000 to Labour in the years before his appointment?
Because we didn't think we'd get caught.
Yep, just in the same way that McSweeney presumably didn't think he'd get caught about all those donations he failed to declare.
Whoops! Oh no!
But no, it's the adults in the room, Kev.
It's the adults in the room, yeah. And again, when people say, why do rich people give money to political parties? It's because of this. Because he's given £35,000 to the Labour Party and presumably had other benefits out of it, and now is potentially going to get £130,000 a year and a phenomenally important job out of it, which is not bad, a bad return on investment at all.
Yeah, and just like how Wahid Ali got a number 10 pass and the Green Finance Institute got somebody appointed to the board for the National Wealth Fund, all that kind of, like, just every single time it's because they managed to be able to get a back scratched back. That's it. That's just how this thing works. And what's crazy, right? You know, when they keep calling us student politicians, what that is code for is these people aren't crooked and think that politics is about having beliefs.
Yeah.
That's it. They just are people who want to be in power for the sake of power and don't care how corrupt they have to be to get there, because it's all a game to them. Treating politics as an actual fight of ideologies rather than a game of power is what they believe student politics is.
Yeah. And it's especially annoying given that they're about to give the votes to 16 and 17-year-olds. So, you know, students doing politics.
Students who are not allowed to interact with political subjects on the internet because of the Online Safety Act. Very dumb.
True.
I'm really happy to answer your questions about this, but I can't speak for David Cogan about why he didn't disclose that donation.
But why did your department not disclose it?
They did. They disclosed it on a number of occasions, but what they didn't do was add a line to a particular press release about David Cogan having donated previously to the Labour Party.
But whether it's a press release...
Oh, they just made the one mistake, honest. They didn't mention the fact that he'd given us tens of thousands of pounds and that this might be payback for that. They just forgot to mention how corrupt we were. Oh, crazy. Really, you hold it against us, really, for A, for being corrupt, and B, for not mentioning that corruptness. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Student politics. Yeah, is this... I'd like to know what part of the decade of fucking national renewal this is a part of, exactly.
What phase are we in now, lads?
I think we need another relaunch.
Or you not knowing, or it not coming up fully in the way that it ought to have done at the interview. This just gives a picture that either it was just sloppy, or what the Conservatives would call it is cronyism. It's all a bit convenient that somebody who was a well-known Labour donor...
Exactly. This guy wasn't even just your mate down the pub or anything. So the Tories should definitely be taken seriously on the issue of cronyism.
Oh, yeah, it is. And for people who think that Kev is exaggerating there, no, this literally happened.
Yeah.
Someone in the VIP fast lane queue for a government contract was somebody who Matt Hancock knew at the time the fucking health secretary. Imagine that guy being the health secretary, and West Streeting doesn't seem half bad in comparison. Literally gave a contract to his mate from the pub.
Lovely stuff. Anyway, Michelle Mone, you ever given that money back, you greedy bitch? What's happening there?
Got this great job.
Well, the difficult question for the Conservative Party is, if he's simply a crony, why on earth did they put him on the shortlist in the first place?
But this question is for you. This process was full of mistakes, whether they were...
I mean, ironically, bizarrely, it speaks well to that Tory party, in a way, because actually they were prepared to put a pro-Labour person into a potentially influential position, even though they hadn't been given money by him. So actually, it's perfectly fine that they put him on that list, because there's no, like, conflict of interest there. They put a qualified person onto a short list for a job for which they were qualified. Fine. You were given thousands of pounds. That means there is a conflict of interest, so that is a problem, actually. I can't believe you've made the Tory party look like the fucking the virtuous governmental party there, you dopey bastard.
I just want to point out Transfox Girl in chat. I mean, you're right to say that, like, when you say crony, we mean capitalist, because that's how people act under capitalism. I agree, right? But crony is also a very specific definition of what is going on here.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that crony capitalism is different from capitalism is obviously a cope from the right. But he would also be a crony if it was somebody who had good links to the Communist Party of the Soviet Union being given a very substantial role in the government of such a thing, right? That would still be cronyism, just under a different kind of incentive structure.
There was plenty of cronyism in the USSR, yes.
Oh, it was fucking insanely corrupt.
Yeah. The nomenclatura were its own little society. Yeah.
Inadvertent or not, you're the Secretary of State.
Yes.
It looks terrible, does it?
I take full responsibility for it. We didn't meet the highest standards.
Really? Because if that were true, you wouldn't be the secretary anymore, would you? You'd have resigned.
I mean, she should. There is something else that she should resign over, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
Oh yes. I'm sure we will.
Also, indeed, very funny for her to go. They keep saying, "Well, this isn't up to the exacting standards we set ourselves." It's really funny how many times they say that. Like, how many scandals have we had now, chat? How many scandals?
Well, he does. I mean, Keir Starmer the other week was Prime Minister's question.
Mr. Rules, sorry, Mr. Call you by real name, Mr. Rules.
Mr. Rules, Casey, put his did the thing where he just thinks he can repeat the same line and it's fine. And he goes, "Well, we've set ourselves the most exacting standards, blah blah blah," and Parliament laughed at him, and he looked genuinely like for a second he looked like a lost little boy. He was like, "What?" He couldn't understand the reaction. Because, again, they just don't see how they're perceived by anybody else, do they? Anyone on the outside of the Politburo sees them as this phenomenally corrupt set of self-serving, nasty bastards. And yet to them, they're like, "Oh, no, we're the party of probity and governance, don't you know?"
Well, you're so right, and one thing that really kind of exemplifies that. Remember when the Giftgate stuff really broke, and there was this interview between Beth Rigby and Keir Starmer, and he looked genuinely angry that he was being attacked for something that was within the rules. He was like, "Well, we all followed the rules in when we were taking the donations and the gifts, and we all said that we were taking them," and I'm like, "And
Yeah.
Like he was like, well, we throw a party and these Sky News people were invited. I'm like, they're journalists, mate. They're not public servants. This is different.
Yeah.
It's just like he genuinely couldn't get his mind around the fact that Giftgate became a national thing.
Yeah.
That is on me. I'm responsible for the Department of Culture, Media and Sport and our appointment processes, and I have unreservedly apologised. I think people would expect us to uphold the highest standards.
Well, that's what you promised. They expect it.
Okay, but like you haven't done that. Firstly, mark that one down. And secondly, is he going to be removed from the shortlist? Because there's obviously like no one can take him seriously in that role now as an impartial arbiter, because he's obviously not that. So he does have to be removed now, surely. And it's bizarre because like he does seem like a qualified guy. He has history in this. He's well respected within the industries involved. The fans forum thing that put together the thing said that they were like, you know, generally on board with it. So it was cool. But like you've managed to fuck it up by being corrupt about it. Even if it was genuine and she didn't know, and it was like there wasn't actually a corruption happening here, you're so fucking up to your neck in this rich people money game that you've accidentally done a corruption. Brilliant. Like that doesn't make it better. It just means you're so ensconced in this world of corruption that you accidentally trip over and onto the rake of corruption that hits you in the face.
I mean, it gets back to the Boris Johnson defence from the select
ambushed by cake.
Yeah, like in his select committee defence of his lying to the House, another subject we'll get to later in the stream. His response was, "I'm sorry, I'm not corrupt. I'm just an idiot." Like that's there are only two justifications: you're either corrupt or you're so monumentally thick that you don't deserve to be in the post that you're in.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. But again, she's been forgiven by the guy who also took money from the same guy corruptly. So that's fine. Again, they're just thick as thieves, all of them.
Yep.
Let me remind people what your manifesto said. It said a reset in public life, a clean-up that ensures the highest standards of integrity.
Oh, sorry, no, but that was a typo as well. Like with the not mentioning the corruption in the press release, we meant clean down. That's the problem. That's what we did there. My bad. Anyway, I've got to go now. I've got tickets for the Arsenal. Toodles.
Honesty. That promise looks farcical now, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think it does, and I'll tell you why. Because as this lengthy and very thorough report has concluded from an independent commissioner, I didn't know about the donation.
Another Quango. Lovely stuff. I wonder if that person donated to you.
Leadership candidate. I was out on the road. I was doing several hustings. I was doing interviews with you on that process. I didn't know about that donation. I wasn't involved in fundraising for the campaign. And as soon as I found out, I declared it and recused myself. And I complied fully with the process. I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is that when we make mistakes, and we will make mistakes, we're human beings, we put ourselves through those independent processes that are there for the reason, we respect the outcome, and we take the consequences.
Well, except, of course, if it's someone that's close enough to you, in which case they don't even bother referring you to the independent standards commissioner. No. If you're left-wing enough, they will. But if you're part of the inner circle, you're all right.
Very true.
Consequences. The difference between us and the Conservative Party, frankly, and the reason we've been so critical of the way that they behaved in government is because you've got a Conservative Party that are making allegations of cronyism towards a well-respected individual who's widely agreed.
That gave you tens of thousands of pounds. Like, the Tories don't have a leg to stand on. That is absolutely true. They sawed both of their legs off and sold them for a lot of money, right? You don't either, though. That's the problem. You're no better. It's just you sold yourself cheaper. And, like, to fund your fucking leadership run. What an embarrassment that was. You didn't even get anything for it. Except, like,
yeah,
you got so few votes that you probably cried. Let's be honest, she probably had a gin-soaked cry on her steps. And that's fair, you know? I'm not knocking her for that. I'm just saying it is a funny image.
As the cross-party select committee said, is the right person for the job. By contrast, they've got somebody sitting on their front bench who broke the ministerial code, refused to resign, and now sits as their shadow foreign secretary. I have said, hands up, this was not a perfect process, and all of those mistakes I take full responsibility for. I apologise for them, and more importantly, I'll put in place processes to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Okay, let's move on then, because your department covers lots of different areas, not least the BBC. Now, right now, and all over this morning's papers, the BBC's under fire for decisions made about its news coverage. One of the particular claims is about what's described as a misleading edit about a Donald Trump speech from the day of the Capitol riots in 2021. I just wonder, have you watched it, and did you think it was misleading?
Well, I have watched it. What I haven't seen is the full version of the interview versus the clips that the Panorama programme showed. But I have discussed the range of issues that that were raised in the email that was leaked to the BBC. It isn't just about the Panorama programme, although that is incredibly serious. There are a series of very serious allegations made, the most serious of which is that there is systemic bias in the way that difficult issues are reported at the BBC. I've spoken to the chairman this week. I am confident that he is treating this with the seriousness that demands, and I understand he will be reporting back to the Select Committee on Monday.
And we expect that the chair of the BBC is expected to apologise, and I should also say we invite...
On Monday? I didn't think they were returning till Wednesday. Did I get that wrong?
I'm sorry?
I didn't think they were returning until Wednesday because of the long weekend.
I didn't know. I don't keep track of that.
Well, I am a nerd, and I'm almost certain that's true. I need to check. I need to, just for my own sanity. Yeah, they're not in Monday. Yeah, House is in recess. It's bank holiday. So they're not until Tuesday.
Well, there you go.
Wrecked, bitch. Wrecked.
To the Director General or the Chair to come and speak to us this morning, but they declined our request. The concerns that have been raised, though, I wonder if you share any of them. Do you?
My concern about what is happening at the BBC is twofold. I've had countless conversations with the senior leadership there, too many to name and far more than I would like over the last 15 months since we were elected. The first concern that I have is that in all of these areas, whether it's Israel, Gaza, whether it's the concerns that were raised this week about the way they report on trans people, or on this issue about President Trump, that what tends to happen at the BBC is that decisions about editorial standards, editorial guidelines, the sort of language that is used in reporting is entirely inconsistent. It doesn't always meet the highest standards, it's not always well thought through, and often it's left to individual journalists or newsreaders to make decisions.
Well, maybe they just forgot. Maybe they just forgot and they left one bit out of a new press release, so it's fine, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll... Like David Cameron's defence of the weapons he was selling to Israel. It's like, oh, I'd never noticed. I never noticed that there was stuff on my desk saying that these weapons licenses that I was putting out might potentially be used to commit war crimes. I can't recall it ever coming across my desk.
That's something that I have discussed at length with the Director General.
Although he does remember coming across a pig. Oh no, Kevin. Oh, I said I wouldn't do this.
The chair, and something that I expect them to grip. But my second concern about the BBC is that increasingly they're operating in a news media environment where news and fact is often blurred with polemic and opinion. And
really? You're going to say that, are you? You're going to say that truth is blurred for political reasoning? Really? We'll get to it shortly. We'll get to it shortly, chat.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, I mean, even in just a broader sense, how about the truth around Jeremy Corbyn's suspension from the Labour Party? Should we talk about that for a second? How apparently he was removed for anti-Semitism, although he was removed because he lost an election. That's it. That's the justification
Sometimes
that
it
was
may be
given.
good, sometimes it may be shit.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
God,
don't
noise.
get
Hang
why
on one
she is
second.
in this role at all. She knows bugger all about culture. Try being a working artist with this TWT in charge. Vomiting face emoji.
Well, Brendan, if suitability for a role in government were a factor, none of these pricks would be in government. So the fact that she is unsuitable for her role is irrelevant. And also, she literally can't be worse than the now Reform Party member, Nadine Dorries, who literally, when she was culture, media and sport person, didn't know how the Channel 4 she was trying to privatise was funded.
When she also thought that tennis was played on pitches.
Yeah. So, like, again, one hates to defend Lisa Nandy, but I don't think she's sub-zero IQ. So she's at least a step up from old fucking Nads.
A very dangerous environment in this country where people can't trust what they see. And I was very disappointed
Really?
recently.
Like somebody saying something in Parliament that was total fucking bullshit, provably, and they still continue to lie about it. That sort of... Sorry, we'll get to it. Kev, don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun.
The Ofcom decided not to proceed with proposals to take action on politicians presenting the news. I am looking, as the Culture Secretary, at what we can do as a government to deal with this. We can't continue with a situation where people can't trust what they see.
But you're raising a concern that's not something that happens at the BBC. Politicians do present on other outlets in our sector, but that's not something that happens at the BBC. I want to cover some other issues, but do you, as we speak this morning on Sunday, do you have confidence that the Director General, Tim Davie, can and will grip this?
I have complete confidence that both Samir Shah, the chair of the BBC, and Tim Davie are treating this with the seriousness that this...
Didn't he resign?
After this interview.
Well, after the interview, but it just goes to show you again, the amount of times they've had total confidence in someone who's very quickly out of office. It's becoming a bit of a pattern. It's the kiss of death. It's very much like when Rishi Sunak would say, this is going to happen, and it was the greatest guarantor that it was not going to happen. It's that basic thing, you know. I'm not going to call an election. Calls an election. In the rain.
Peter, we have total confidence in Peter Mandelson.
Yeah, and he was gone by the end of the day. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, well, no, even better, we have total confidence in Azhar Ali, our candidate for the Rochdale by-election.
Fucking...
Until I remember, because literally there was a fucking leaked audio of him saying that certain Jewish quarters of the press were trying to smear him.
Yeah, well done.
So he was, he's just an actual anti-Semite. But of course, you know, the fish rots from the head, and Keir Starmer knows what he has to do.
But the highest standards in public life, everybody. Highest standards.
Adults in the room. Adults in the room.
Demands. I do want to see that response to the Select Committee, and I will, of course, consider it and have further conversations with them about the action that they're taking.
Okay. We have been reporting in the last couple of days, and we'll hear the full interview in a moment, about a terrible story where an American teenager took his own life. His mother believes, because of his interactions with the chatbot character AI. We've spoken to other families about this too. One British family who had a...
AI needs to die. I'm sorry. For any good it might do in some other way. Like, it's just such an obvious time bomb waiting to fuck everything.
I mean, I literally had the people saw on Twitter, everyone's getting mad because Carla Jenny was saying, well, we shouldn't be allowing like half of our land to be used for fucking data centers. Like, oh, she hates growth. People like this economically destroy the country.
Daniel Finkelstein's about to fucking go ape on her. He's about to go fucking goblin mode.
And I was just like what? First of all, what jobs? Like, people sitting there looking after some servers doing data admin and security. The only jobs that's going to be created by building data centers is going to push up all of our fucking bills by the giant fucking absolute avalanche of extra demand that it will create for energy, and it's essentially going to be used to power something that's going to lead to fucking social collapse. No, we don't want this. I don't want this.
What we should definitely do is hand over all of our healthcare data to the people who run those systems. That can't go badly wrong for anybody.
Similar situation where they believe their 13-year-old autistic son was encouraged to take his own life by the same app too. I know you're a parent too. Do you think that parents in this country are aware enough of the risks that chatbots present?
I think parents are increasingly anxious
Ban
about
it!
it.
Ban this sick
whether
filth.
all parents have the tools to know how to help their children navigate that is another question.
I am become Mary Whitehouse.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, have you considered Tony Blair likes it? So
Or Larry Ellison, Tony Blair's donor, Larry Ellison, likes it.
exactly. So basically, it's going to happen. Get used to it.
Speaking very personally, I worry about what my little boy watches and sees on the internet. We've got controls on that, like many parents, but particularly when it comes to
presumably
chatbot.
now, because of the fucking Online Safety Act, nothing. He sees nothing on the internet. It's all blocked. Everything. Barney, SpongeBob, everything.
The idea that your child could be having a conversation that can lead to some very dark places with a virtual stranger is something that keeps me awake at night, and I think lots of parents as well. As a government, we passed legislation to deal with some of these issues earlier this year.
But when you talk to the regulator, Ofcom, who's trying to enforce that legislation, what they tell us is at this stage, the rules might cover.
But Ofcom are like a fucking that meme of the what's it keeping the fucking door shut. Like they're nothing. They're not a fucking regulator in any way. In the same way that Ofgen are not a regulator for anything. Like they're toothless, pathetic organisations.
Some elements of chatbots, but because this is also new and evolving, they can't be completely clear about what's covered and what's not. So as things stand, do you think the Online Safety Act is fit for purpose?
Now, I agree with Ofcom. I don't think the challenge is that the Online Safety Act isn't fit for purpose, although we will keep an open mind as a government if we need further legislation. I think the issue is that none of this has been tested. And so although it is clear that chatbots are covered in the legislation, in what way Ofcom are absolutely correct to say is not clear. It's a discussion that I've had with the Science Secretary and with major tech companies. We are very concerned about it.
And are you going to clarify what it covers and not?
We are right now, Liz Kendall, the Science Secretary, and I are looking at what clarification is necessary.
Yeah, Sally, you're quite right. This is Labour speak for we ain't doing shit about it. We're not changing anything. No.
I mean, their model for growth has I was planning reform, which has turned out to not actually work, and they're not building anyway, and from allowing AI to make the state more efficient, i.e. replace people's jobs in the public sector and the civil service, and to just magically create growth out of nowhere off the back of a fucking giant ass bubble. That's their plan for growth. Brilliant, right? Great, love it.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue.
It's not an issue. So they've already bought into, they've already fucking bet the house on red in terms of ensuring that AI is part of the growth plan.
But it turns out that Red is burning the house down. Oh, fuck.
Exactly.
Not convinced at the moment that that is necessarily a legislative change. That may be, for example, to issue guidance to make that clearer. But as a government, we'll take whatever action we need to.
Guidance. Very much the do not iron label of governmental responses. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Keep our children safe from harm.
Okay, just two brief things finally, if I may. We talked a lot on this programme earlier in the year about this battle between content creators like Elton John and Sir Paul McCartney, who we spoke to. They're both, frankly, they were both very cross with your government. They even called Peter Kyle, government minister, a moron because they thought that basically you're letting down the creative industries.
Yeah. They call him a moron because he is one.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, despite the fact it is also true that he was letting down the creative industries by essentially cucking our entire country out to American tech corporations to skim our talented artists to create identical copyrights theft slop, but for the benefit of a bunch of angel investors in Silicon Valley, right? Real evil shit that they were supporting. On top of that, he is also very stupid too.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Segway, they may be very famous, but they are also just content creators, yes. An album is no different in a sense than a stream or anything else. To be fair, I think Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper's will last longer in the memory than anything I ever do, but technically they're both just content, which people can use their leisure time to use as they wish. So get over yourself. And also, yeah, I am up my own arse. And what?
As the person who's in charge of looking after the creative industries, this is all on pause at the moment, but do you accept you made a bit of a mess of it?
So we didn't get it right in the first instance. I think one of the things that we've learned very clearly through the consultation is that when it comes to protecting creators and enabling the benefits of AI, one size does not fit all. The challenges for publishing are not the same as the challenges for music, so we're taking a more nuanced approach. It's not on pause, though. I do want to reassure your viewers that the Science Secretary and I have convened a series of roundtables with tech companies.
For a second there, I thought she was going to say, I want to reassure Elton John and Paul McCartney, which would have been very funny. Like that time that Keir Starmer said we need to get through the assisted dying bill because I promised Esther Ranson. Which is still brilliant. Like, I mean, technically she's a British voter, so that does count, but, like, you know, it's a bit specific.
And our message is absolutely clear. Whichever solution we come to together, if it doesn't work for creatives, it will not work for us.
Okay, well, I'm sure Sir Elton and Sir Paul will be listening very carefully to your answer. A
I'm
final
certain they
question.
won't.
In a moment, we will hear from the new head of the military. He's told us this morning that British military drone experts are going to Belgium to help them repel what are suspected to be Russian drone attacks. I think
Do we really want to hear her waffle on about Belgium?
I want to see her get. I want to see her get shredded by Lewis Goodall. So I'm going to pop the clip in your DMs.
Yes. Well, I've already got it. Do not worry about that. I just wanted to do the waffle Belgium joke.
Oh, love it. Got it.
Well, yeah, jokes are always funnier when you have to A, explain it, and B, someone gets it 20 seconds later.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, honestly, that's the stand-up dream, I think. Really.
Oh, welcome in, James from the Internet Raid Arenas. Thank you very much for the raiding party. You're through to the No Justice stream. We talk about UK politics from a socialist perspective 6 days a week. If that sounds like your thing, please consider dropping a follow and also subscribing for free on YouTube as well. Both the subscription and on YouTube and the follow on Twitch are both free for you to do. Please do so. You can also go and follow Kevin Logan, who I'm also streaming with today.
No, go fuck yourself. You're not welcome here, scum.
Oh, that is true. That is true. You actually, to be honest, yeah, probably too good for him anyway.
Yeah, no, I am. Well, to be fair, I think James will get this. Me and you as the creator here, we are like a superior being. And these fucking, these Untermensch, these detritus, are lucky that we deign to give them our breath. You know?
But in all seriousness, please go and follow KFLogan1875 so you can be insulted in person.
I absolutely will.
By proxy.
Well, James has come into my chat and is doing the James Wanker emote at me. Which is the only appropriate response. Thank you very much. Yes, everyone go and follow James, who's fucking awesome. Anyway,
Joe Lucas says you can call me Floridian. Oh wow, Friday's bad, isn't it?
Oh, that is gruesome. That's like the Belgium of America. Whatever the fuck that means. Yes, no, I do have the clip. Where are we? So, yes. Here we go. So,
some context.
Yeah, hang on. I'll turn my fan off because I might put this up on the internet. Well, it will be on the internet, but as a clip, you know.
Yeah, we definitely have to get a segment out of this one.
Yeah. So we've talked on this stream, both myself individually and with No Justice, about the issue of the incredibly massive issue of the random group game between Aston Villa Football Club and Maccabi Tel Aviv. One of the truly great titanic tussles of the football pitch. I'm being sarcastic. Anyway,
to paraphrase David Mitchell, it was indeed being described as a game that was on last week.
Literally, like most of the time, no one would give the slightest shit, other than the fans of the two clubs involved and maybe someone having a bet. That's about it. Literally it. No one gives a fuck, right? But the thing is, I don't know if you've heard, but there's a cheeky bit of genocide going on in Israel/Palestine at the moment, and for the last 80 years, but specifically the last 2 and a bit years. And so, it's quite controversial that Maccabi Tel Aviv, a club from Israel, is still allowed to participate, even if we ignore the geographic limitations of the fact that they shouldn't be in the European groups anyway.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And I forgot to turn my fucking noises off, so I'll start that sentence again. Thank you for your annoying generosity, chat. Anyway. Yeah, so Maccabi Tel Aviv shouldn't even be in the European groups, but whatever, right?
That's a separate issue. That
is a separate issue, yes. I, as a football fan and as a basic, decent human being, think that along the same lines as Russia being banned from European and international competitions, and their domestic clubs being banned from continental competitions for their invasion of Ukraine, the same should happen to Israel for their much greater crimes that they are currently and have been committing over the last 2 years. Except, of course, UEFA are a bought and paid for horrible shithouse organisation that are in hock to the likes of Saudi Arabia and Israel, unfortunately. And so they have not done that, which have led to all kinds of problems with the national Israeli team going to places like Norway, and the Norwegian FA literally donating the funds from that game, which, by the way, Denmark won 5-0. It's not Denmark, Norway won 5-0. The Italian team having to literally shut down a major Italian city for the day to have the Israeli team come in, play the game, and then just get rid of them as quickly as possible, because no one wants the genocide FC in their country. They don't want it. And what makes it even worse for Maccabi Tel Aviv, of course, is that they aren't just from Israel and are horrific Zionist pieces of shit themselves, but they're also incredibly violent, incredibly racist, have a track record of going on Arab hunts, as they like to call it. They have a song where they sing about both murdering the fans of the rival local team, Hapoel Tel Aviv, but also raping their women. They literally have a rape song.
They're monsters. And this all came to a head when they went to a football game in Amsterdam earlier on this year, which was described as a pogrom against Jews by Netanyahu, so much so that he sent flights over like it was Operation Entebbe to rescue members of the IDF, when it really was a bunch of football hooligans meeting their match, right? They quite literally chat shit and got banged when they tried to do their pro-genocide nonsense in Amsterdam. And when this happened, there was information that was collated and collected about the behaviour of the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans by the Amsterdam police. And this information was relayed to West Midlands police, who are part of the jurisdiction for the West Midlands police who would control the area around the match between Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Specifically Aston.
Indeed.
Which is the area of Birmingham this would be taking part in, yes. Which is a neighbouring area to Handsworth, described as a slum by a former member of the British government. There we go.
Indeed, indeed. So there was information shared from the Amsterdam police to West Midlands police, who would be the ones policing the game between Villa and Maccabi.
Yep.
And this information wasn't known specifically, but West Midlands police said that from the information they had, they didn't think that they could maintain order for the match. And this was described as banning Jews from Aston. And whilst lots of members of our opinion spewer class, our commentator demographic, our journalists in this country, decided this was because they essentially thought that the West Midlands police were saying that they couldn't justify allowing Israelis to this country because they might be at threat from the Muslimics of Birmingham. This was what was told to us by the Secretary of State for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, Lisa Nandy, in the House of Commons. And she thought it was a great shame. She thought it was a great shame that we couldn't guarantee the safety of Israelis in this country.
Yeah.
Until, of course, West Midlands Police themselves released their own guidance about what happened.
Well,
and it was actually nothing to do with the people of Aston, was it?
Yeah, so she's a complete liar on this. But of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because the timeline is she spoke in the House of Commons, lied, accused members of parliament of being anti-Semitic, which apparently isn't against the rules. It's only bad if you accuse a white person of doing racism. Anyway, let's get the Erskine May nonsense out of the way there. Anyway, the weekend after that happened, so she spoke on, I think, the Thursday. On the Saturday, there was the Tel Aviv derby between Maccabi and Hapoel, again, the group of people that they sing about murdering and raping their women. And the violence was so bad that the Israeli police shut the game down. It literally didn't take place. It was so violent that literally the Israeli police, who are trained by the IDF, right, shut the game down and said, we can't fucking keep order, this is ridiculous, and it has to now be played, I believe, behind closed doors at some future date. Because it literally is so violent. So they all went to bat, they all smeared the people of Birmingham, they smeared all Muslims, basically, in Britain. They put all of the lives of the people that might have been interacted with these fans at risk, because, again, they have literally fucking attacked and murdered people in the past, and sing about doing so, and the degree to which they like to do so. All to go to bat for, basically, Zionism, for Israel, because Israel wants to be a part of this in exactly the same way that they are desperate to be a part of Eurovision. It's a fantastic way of sports washing or music washing their image, because they want to be seen as the nice nation that plays football, not the bad nation that shoots brown people type thing, right?
Exactly. Like, our government were trying to move heaven on earth to overrule the independent decision of West Midlands Police because of their interest in geopolitics over the interest of their own citizens, right?
Yeah.
Our government is more occupied than the fucking West Bank, mate. Because they were out there trying to put their own citizens in risk of harm, so they could have friendly relationships with the Israeli Foreign Office. Gideon Saar, I believe, is their foreign minister.
Indeed.
I mean, there was literally a meeting between Yvette Cooper, the foreign secretary, and Gideon Saar the week after all this furore started, where Gideon Saar and Yvette Cooper had a discussion about ensuring that Maccabi Tel Aviv fans could be let into the United Kingdom to watch the game.
And it was so bad that literally the decision was eventually taken. The government tried to overrule the independent operational ruling of the West Midlands Police Force and the security group here in the Midlands. They tried to overrule that, basically, even though they claimed they didn't try to overrule it. And eventually, Maccabi Tel Aviv themselves went, we're not taking the tickets. They literally went, this is not worth the shit. We don't, look, we're just not going there, okay? Or at least the fans aren't. The team did, and by the way, they lost 2-0 to Aston Villa. It's a lot easier shooting innocent, unarmed children than it is taking on 11 human adults, you know. But there we go. That's a different matter entirely.
I mean, what was really happening there is that Maccabi Tel Aviv were trying to jump the gun. They were trying to get ahead of the obvious information that would then come out, which was that these people are violent hooligans, they're Kahanist ultras, they are fundamentally Nazis, essentially, in terms of their viewpoint towards Arabs. They knew this information would come eventually because, of course, they knew their own fucking fans. And so they were trying to make sure that the idea that their fans weren't safe in this country was a position that was in the public consciousness, even though the polling at the time of the decision of West Midlands Police was that they were correct. Like the government, who are popularists in every sense of the word for everything else, they will try and take the median position that polling says on everything else, apart from when it comes to Israel, apparently. It's the only thing where they refuse to do the wishes of the electorate when the polling goes against them.
And of course, Maccabi themselves knew that if their fans did turn up, there would be trouble, and there would be obvious video footage of their fans singing about killing Arabs and attacking Muslims and all the rest of it, because that was obviously going to happen. Now, the game thankfully did go off relatively peacefully in the end, albeit slightly comically in the sense that only about a third of the ground was full. Literally, they sold far more tickets than people who actually attended. People who had bought tickets couldn't give them away because no one wanted to go anywhere near the place, because there were going to be locals protesting, and there were going to be pro-Israel people and anti-Israel people, and there was going to be fucking these far-right dickheads, the Tommy Robinsons. Although, interestingly, Tommy Tel Aviv 10 names was in Spain. He incited his fans to go there and kick off, but he was safely ensconced over in fucking Spain, obviously, naturally. His natural habitat.
I love that we can literally call him Tel Aviv Tommy now, which is great.
It's amazing stuff. Anyway, but thankfully they drafted in like 700 extra police. That's quite expensive, but they were able to keep them sort of at arm's length for the most part. There was some silliness and a few arrests and stuff, but largely it was fine. Of course, there was some victim playing from the Zionists who were told to amass in a certain point away from the main road, because the main road at the Doug Ellis stand end of the ground literally backs onto the road, so the turnstiles are literally a few feet from the road, and it's a major thoroughfare for people going back and forth during the game, or before the game and after the game. So you can't have lots of people standing around blocking the place, because it becomes a very significant public safety hazard at that point. People would be crushed to death potentially. So they were asked to stand in Witten Garden basketball court. But of course that has a fence on it, and so they started going, they fenced in the Jews. Like
very weird. It was very
victim
weird.
playing there is fucking mental. Firstly, they didn't pick you out for being Jews. You specifically went there because you wanted to be part of that one protest, and you were told to amass there so that they could get the people into the ground who wanted to go to the game, and then take you up the road safely.
I mean, what's
What's
happening here is that these people don't know what protests are and how they work and how police control protests, because they never have anything to protest, because the government does whatever they want all the time, including in this case, right? They were protesting West Midlands police, which is quite interesting for them to do. The ones who are then, following the rules on how you govern protests, which is that you have them in separate areas, you separate them deliberately with barriers in between so they don't fight each other for public safety and public order concerns, but because they think that the police are there to protect them, i.e. they are the in-group, therefore the state should be protecting them at the expense of their ideological out-group opposition, that the moment the police are asking them to do anything, they're like, well, no, you can't control me, you're supposed to be protecting me, I'm the in-group. And so they lose their shit. And fundamentally, this is because they've never been on a protest before, so they don't know how the rules work. Basically. Just like how whenever the EDL start protesting, or they did a fucking Remembrance Day protest last year, where a bunch of them got arrested because they were wearing face masks, and there was a police section 38 order, I think it is, in place, which is that they can mandate the removing of face coverings. And if you're on a leftist protest, you understand that when they do this, you have to take your face covering off, or you basically just go home. These people don't understand protest law because they never go on it and they never bother to protest professionally, I guess, in the way that leftoids do. And so they thought they were being treated unfairly. They were talking about two-tier policing. No, they were just the same tiers. You just never adhere to the rules that we adhere to because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And internet's free.
Indeed. And there was one quite nice moment during the game when the Villa fans started singing "It's All Gone Quiet Over There" at the empty away end. Fair dues. I don't like you lads, but fair enough. That's pretty good. Anyway, so on to the fact that the lying liar lied and will lie again.
You told the House of Commons that decision was based in no small part on the risk based to those fans that are attending to support Maccabi Tel Aviv because they are Israeli and because they are Jewish. West Midlands Police told Parliament this week and Sky News this week that was not the reason, that the reason was because of the hooliganism of those fans. Would you like to apologise to West Midlands Police?
No, but I would like to commend West Midlands Police for the policing operation that saw hundreds of officers deployed onto the streets with care and sensitivity. But I want to be really clear with you on this point, Lewis. I, of course, as you would expect, requested the advice from West Midlands Police.
Well, shall we take a look at that advice?
That's a very good idea, Kevin.
Shall we maybe take a cheeky little gander at what she was given as advice? So here we go. We have initially a description of the events of Amsterdam, where it goes through the fact that 500 to 600 of them were intentionally targeting Muslim communities and committing a variety of targeted, hate-motivated crimes, including serious assaults on Muslim taxi drivers, throwing innocent members of the public into the river, tearing down Palestine flags and singing hate-fueled songs, etc., etc. The threat assessment. Having assessed the situation against the disorder model, it is considered that the event is causing tension. This is based on potential for serious and sustained violence from risk elements of Maccabi fans. Numerous local communities are extremely concerned and fear of the event. The local community's concerns and probable risk of serious violence, the potential for significant protest, including various groups against the event, Organised groups may attend to disrupt the fixture using a variety of tactics. There will be significant disruption to city centre and wider Birmingham. All groups are known direct anger towards police, which, you know, the last one, who cares? Risk of significant spontaneous disorder, high. Risk of antisocial behaviour, high. Risk of protest, high. Risk to away fan supporters, high. Risk of pre-planned disorder, medium. Risk to local Muslim communities, medium. Pro-Palestine protesters, medium. Risk of crime, medium, etc., etc., etc. Based on the above, the overall risk assessment is high. So that's what she was told. She was told by the West Midlands Police that they had gone to Amsterdam, specifically 500 to 600 Maccabee fans, intentionally trying to fuck... I mean, essentially, if you throw someone into a river, that's basically attempted murder at that fucking point. It's a very significant risk to that person's health and or life. And that this was a potentially high risk in this case. And she's now going to bat still in the face of
the very
this
first
evidence.
two things. Like, the very first two things in the threat assessment are about the violence and risk elements of Maccabee fans and the concern of local communities in fear of the event.
Yeah. But the thing is, she's bought and paid for by Israel, not by the people of Aston. So she doesn't give a fuck about them. She's happy to smear them as evil Muslimoids. Disgusting shit. Anyway, where were we? Oh, bugger.
But no, it's bear with me to reframe my thing. One second.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah. You got it?
Yeah, good to go.
Course, as you would expect, requested the advice from Westminster Police to the safety advisory group who make the ultimate decision on this before we took any decisions around it. That advice...
Also, you say take the ultimate decision, but you were trying to overturn that quote-unquote ultimate decision.
Literally, there were meetings going on at pace. They had closed down business in other departments who had presumably real shit to be doing so that you could overrule this independent decision.
Well, it was announced on the same day, actually the day before I should say, that childhood homelessness had reached a peak in the United Kingdom. We've never had more or a higher percentage of child homelessness than we have now. There were not emergency meetings in Westminster about that. There were about trying to allow in Israeli hooligans though. So again, if you wonder who they're governing on behalf of, it's probably not us.
This was crystal clear that there were a number of factors that went into the decision that West Midlands Police, the recommendation that they put forward that away fans should be banned, that was based on an assessment of risk that included an element of hooliganism amongst the away fans, but it was absolutely crystal clear that the risk to the Maccabee Tel Aviv fans was
I'm sorry, Culture Secretary.
Culture
Secretary. Chief Superintendent Tom Joyce told Sky News, "We are simply trying to make decisions based on community safety driven by the intelligence that was available to us and our assessment of the risk that was coming from admitting travelling fans." They have been clear this week that the primary driver around this was about the threat posed by those fans. And you said it was about anti-Semitism. That was wrong, wasn't it?
It was absolutely wrong, and thank
She
you for
lied to the
bringing the
house.
receipts.
She lied to the house.
Absolutely. There should be an emergency question on Tuesday about this, and she should be brought to task about this. You have to say,
Well,
of course,
there won't
she
be.
may have unintentionally misled the house, because that's a load of bollocks, but that's the thing, right? She absolutely needs to be fucking called up about this, because this is fucking ridiculous. Like, it's not even as if this is an unprecedented thing, which again is another lie she told. She said this had never happened before, except of course loads of people have been banned, including of course there was the fans from, I've forgotten the club, that's very, very annoying, who had been banned from the very same stadium 18 months prior. So this is not an unusual thing, either for Britain or for British clubs travelling in Europe. Literally, the Italian government had suspended its membership of the Schengen Agreement for 2 days so that they could potentially ban all German travellers to Italy so that they would stop Eintracht Frankfurt fans from being able to attend the game against Napoli in Naples.
I mean, yeah, because fans are notorious for hooliganism. Like, there's a reason why there's no such thing as cricket hooliganism.
True.
Formula
Warsaw
One
was the
hooliganism.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the thing. There is something unique about football, unfortunately. Like, you can get pissed up as fuck at the rugby, and there isn't the trouble. I've seen some of the drunkest people ever at the cricket, and I don't think I've ever really seen any trouble. And I've seen, like, crazy drunkenness, like drunkenness you would never see at the football. Levels of, like, Caribbean rum intoxication levels, right? Mad shit. And they're fine. They're chill. There is something, unfortunately, about football, which means, of course, it has to be taken as a high-risk event. And also, like, attending an away game in Europe is not a right. It's a privilege. Whereas the safety of the people of Birmingham is a right. People do have a right to feel safe in their own fucking streets. And not have mad, marauding lunatics strolling about the place. So yeah, if the occasional nutbag has to be fucking banned, fine. That's grand. They can watch it on telly at home. They shouldn't even be in the fucking tournament anyway. But if they're going to be, you can watch it at home. Jesus Christ.
And that's a decision that they made themselves.
Yeah.
It was not wrong. And I'm telling you, Lewis, that I have read that report from West Midlands Police to the Safety Advisory Committee who make the decision. And that report was absolutely crystal clear that although there were a number of factors that went into their recommendation to ban away fans, the high risk that they identified was to those fans themselves.
No, it wasn't.
When they say that there is a high risk to away risk supporters, yeah, because those are the ones that are going to bring risk upon themselves. That's what the point is being made there.
Yeah.
It didn't say that there was a risk to away supporters.
And at no point did it say there's a risk because they're Jewish. That's a lie. That it didn't get said. It said that because of their notoriety, and B, the fact that they're highly likely to kick off themselves, means that people might fucking fight back.
That's it. That's the point. That's why they say that there is a risk to away risk supporters, not to away supporters more generally.
Yeah.
That was not just on the basis that they were Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. It was because it was an Israeli team, and it's because many of those supporters were Jewish.
Really? Because if that were true, why was the delegate from the Israeli embassy able to attend the game perfectly fine and leave perfectly fine? Why were there a large
Jewish
group?
Aston Villa fans allowed to come?
Absolutely. Why were there? I mean, there was even a huge pro-Israel. Well, I say huge, a significant pro-Israel protest outside the ground, which was policed very well by the looks of things. Yeah, and they were
brought
fine.
in Israeli flags into the ground.
Yeah, there were those two women with the Jewess, or no, the Jew, Zioness, or whatever it was, T-shirts, which is a bit fucking grim. But they were allowed into the ground, and they did their thing. And it's fine. No one really gave a fuck, for the most part. I think, to be honest with you, most Villa fans were happy just to get the game out of the way, and not to have their team used as a fucking political football by gobshites like this. In all honesty. I think most people in the city were happy to see it gone as well. Because, let's be honest, we've been thrown under the bus by Zionists for Zionist reasons. And that doesn't feel great, knowing that your government will not only not defend you if you get murdered by Israel, but will happily smear you for daring to be opposed to that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Lisa Nandy, you are a fucking disgrace. You should resign. For being corrupt, as previously discussed, taking money and then appointing people who gave you money. And secondly, for blatantly lying and smearing the denizens of your second largest city. All in service of a foreign government.
In the mother of all parliaments, she told a deliberate and malicious and pernicious lie about the people of Birmingham during a time at which community tensions are incredibly high because we have a government and an opposition and an actual real opposition who happen to only have 5 MPs, where they're trying to demonize Muslims in this country more broadly.
Yeah.
And she's just carrying on those smears to defend a foreign fucking state, and not any foreign fucking state, a foreign state committing genocide.
What part of the national renewal is this?
I mean, she must resign. You can't just lie to the House deliberately and at the expense of a whole community in this country.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to lie about being ambushed by cake. It's one thing to lie about It's one thing to lie about having a piss up at number 10 when you were supposed to be social distancing, right? Bad, criminal, for sure. But in terms of the actual overall impact, pretty low. Pretty low to lie about vomiting up the walls in number 10 during lockdown. Deliberately and perniciously lying to smear entire fucking parts of your citizenry at the behest of a foreign state is despicable. It is absolutely despicable. It's shameful.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I think that'll be, to be honest with you, it will end with you saying it was shameful. Boom. There you go. That seems like a natural end point to the segment.
It's a fucking disgrace.
I've literally got that one.
It's a fucking disgrace.
Love to see it.
My people heard it. Yours did not. And I only heard it because I had my fucking earphones plugged in this time. Dickhead. God almighty. Anyway, so back from that liar lying to the same liar lying about something different. Probably. I don't know. What was she going to ask?
I think we're at the end of the interview with Lisa, weren't we?
No, she was asking about something about the army or some bollocks. I don't know.
People will hear that this morning. I think that really sounds quite alarming. Do you feel that war is coming ever closer to the country?
The situation
Belgium,
in
that was
Russia
it.
is
Yeah.
incredibly,
Belgium, wasn't it?
and Ukraine is incredibly serious. And I don't want to downplay that, but we have one of the best militaries in the world. We have always treated it with the utmost seriousness. We're working with our allies to deal with it. And whilst we can't be complacent about the threat and the challenge that is posed by Russian aggression, we are taking steps as a government with our allies to do everything that we need to do to keep people safe.
Okay, Lisa and Andy, thanks for coming in. It's good to have you with us
Thank
in
you.
the studio. Thank you very much indeed. Now, well, Lisa and Andy has just told us that worrying about what her son sees online can keep her up all night. We've talked many times together about...
Okay, no offence to this family, but look, it's very sad what happened, but what the fuck can we even talk about here?
I mean, the whole of this episode, there's this whole bit. There's then another bit about remembrance, which again is nice, and I'm sure that it was very lovely commemoration and remembrance for the people who lost their lives. But I don't know what we're supposed to comment on this. Also, thank you, I Can't Give a Duck, for gifting a sub to Antifa, and thank you, Anonymous, for gifting a sub to Hapwell Tel Aviv.
Specifically Hapoel, though, so it's fine, apparently.
Well, the lefty ones, right? They're
the lefty ones, quote unquote, yes.
I mean, they do quite literally have a fucking like Karl Marx banners at their games.
Well, yeah, but they're still fucking Zionists.
It's true.
You know.
Go to the BBC website, BBC.co.
Hence why with the USSR literally backed Israel at the start.
They did.
UK/action line. There's a lot of resources for you if these are issues you're struggling with. And we'd love to know how you might have been affected by this issue. As ever, you can email us, koonsberg@bbc.co.uk, or on social media, use the hashtag BBC Laura K and the WhatsApp number 08000 282 161. So let's talk then about this issue. Gina, it is heartbreaking to hear Megan tell her story.
I forgot, no offence, but again, look, I don't fucking care.
I mean, how can we comment on it?
Yeah, like
it's supposed to be reacting.
Yeah. Like, when I say I don't care, that sounds really callous, but like, millions of people die every day.
Should we skip to the Tory interview?
I don't know them. I can't do anything with the information, you know? The Tory interview, where's that? Well, there's this guy, but again, who gives a fuck?
I mean, I'm sure I would give a fuck to watch and hear about whatever, but I can't. I don't know what commentary I can do. I don't know how I can how I can transform this content. You know.
Well, yeah, but also, I mean, look at him. He's got fucking rope on him and that, which means he's just an Admiralty court anyway. That's a little sovereign citizen joke for all of the Hannah people who have definitely all left anyway. But whatever. Yes. So this dickhead.
Secretary James Cartledge, and you were a defence minister in the previous government, so you are very familiar with this area. Let's start then with what Sir Richard told us about UK military personnel and kit going to Belgium to help repel what are suspected to be Russian drones. I mean, that sounds like quite a serious step.
I think it's really important, and I welcome it. You know, there is a heightened threat environment. Whatever, you know, the exact detail of any of the threats we face, we know that it's perhaps at the greatest extent since the Cold War, And one of the key parts of the way we deter those threats is by acting with other countries through NATO, with our allies. So I think it's really good. Just as we saw when we had Russian jets flying over Estonia, and we had, I think it was an Italian or a Dutch.
I don't have anything to say. Can we skip to him? Ask about politics, please, Laura.
But is it your view that these attacks on Belgium...
Oh, for God's sake. Laura, you lost the news!
Bear planes coming near our airspace, and we've had other drone overflights. So I think when you add it all up together with what's happening in Ukraine, it's clear Russia remains a very serious threat, and I share the view of the Chief Defence Staff about the Russian threat.
Do you think that the government then is doing enough in this?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Just what a waste of an episode.
I mean, she managed to get like 2.5 hours of content out of it, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but most of that was either Lewis Goodall or us just chatting.
That is true.
Because
we're the real content. You
know?
We
we are the content. Again, we are.
It's
we
not
are
like
better than you, chat. Okay.
It's not like we're piggybacking off other people's content forever, or as Dark Viper AU might claim that we were.
Yeah, true. Give us money.
I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of Dark Viper AU's arguments are pretty clear, pretty reasonable. But I think that there's a difference between like reaction streams and commentary streams, right? It's not like we're uploading other people's content and just sitting there going, "Wow, oh my god!" We do lots of commentary.
We're not doing the XQC thing of going, "Wow, that's mad, chat."
Yeah,
watching
and
20
then
minutes
uploading the full
going,
fucking reaction to
and be like, "Whoa,
YouTube.
That's incredible! Whoa, amazing," and that's it. Brilliant.
Spending 3.5% of GDP of the whole economy on defence, because that is a massive increase in how much taxpayers' cash right now goes towards these kinds of things. So, what would your target be?
So the policy we've stated. Kemi Badenoch earlier this year, she said,
almost said something critical about public spending on defence there, which would be illegal and with terrorism.
Yeah, there's a magic money tree, don't you know? Just like the magic money tree that Trump's found from the tariffs to give every American $2,000 now that he's realised that you can win elections talking about affordability.
Yeah. And of course, the magic money tree for Israel, which is just there forever. And the magic money tree of 40 billion for the Ancapistan mess that is Argentina.
Their government bailout.
America first. Technically,
real Ayn Rand vibes.
Technically, Argentina is in the larger America, the landmass. So technically, that is America first. Still, technically. He didn't say United States first, did he?
She thought the government should go to 3% this Parliament.
So how would you pay for it?
Well, so when I first appeared on your programme, it was around the time when Keir Starmer was going out to see Donald Trump, and there's a lot of discussion about defence spending, and I said we had to make difficult choices about aid, but I also said about spending on benefits, and there's no getting away from this. My biggest worry on...
I was literally going to do I was going to pause and say, what, eviscerate the poor? We're going to burn poor people to fund it, but he's just going to do it for me. Thanks.
Defence spending is the fact that Labour, unfortunately, when they brought forward measures to reform welfare, to be blunt, they bottled it in the face of their backbenchers. You know, the way benefit spending has increased, I think disability benefits are forecast to get to 100 billion this Parliament. That's enormous.
But you as a party, despite some
guess
years...
why? Because disabled people are more important than war. Just a little factoid.
True. Little bit, yeah.
Pressure from people in the military sphere saying, come on, actually, you have to get your act together. You have to increase defence spending more quickly. The Ukraine conflict started on when you were in power. So by when would you want to hit that new NATO target of 3.5%?
So the policy we have is for 3% in this Parliament.
But when would you want to hit the 3.5%? That is the target.
Jesus Christ. At no point does she go, well, experts in education say you need to put in another 70 squillion. When are you going to meet that target? No, it's, we can't afford it. Next. Why are you planning to spend any money on things like hospitals? Isn't that reckless with the public finances? You scum! Whereas when it comes to this, it's just like, no, you should, when are you going to spend the more money? Not just the extra more money, the extra more money. Like, it's just ridiculous. The consent manufacturing industry is the only industry going in Britain right now.
I mean, there's the Sunday show from Laura Koonsberg has been doing it for ages. Like, so much stuff that they'll just be doing, like, there's nothing interesting going on in Ukraine, nothing like new going on in Ukraine. Obviously, it's still interesting as a concept, right? But nothing new. But they'll just bring it up. They have a Ukraine special of question time, just so people are definitely very on board with the military expenditure we definitely need to do, because Russia's definitely on our fucking doorstep as a nuclear-armed island nation.
The NATO alliance, which you speak of with great meaning and great belief in it, that's the target that NATO countries have agreed. So if you were back in power, by when would you actually hit that target?
When we've been in government, we have always spent the NATO target, and that will not change.
But
I
it's
can't.
different now.
I'm not sitting in front of you writing the manifesto for the next parliament. What
So
I'm
you
saying
don't
is
have a decision yet.
the position is the threat we feel the threat is right now. We need to see far greater urgency from the government. As you know, something I've discussed with you before, a big worry I have, having been the Defence Procurement Minister, is because of frankly the penny pinching we're seeing in the department right now in the Ministry of Defence. Procurement has effectively been on hold since the election. If you speak to any defence company, they'll tell you they're waiting for the orders. We need to fire up our...
Won't someone think of the defence contractors? Really, we need to get rid of all of the disabled people and just give all of that money to defence contractors. You know what? I can see why you're definitely going to win the next election.
Please, sir, my defence contracts, they are very ill. They need all the money.
Honestly, the head of BOE Systems is wasting away. His family, the Raytheon shareholders, might not be able to afford an 8th yacht this Christmas. Have you considered that, chap?
Have you considered, what about Gaytheon? What about their investments in the LGBT plus community in DEI? You want to undermine that by cancelling these contracts? Terrible.
Exactly. What you don't want to spend on the war machine? Are you homophobic or something?
Our defence industrial base, so it's about what is spent now, because the threat is right now.
But
it's
if
not
you speak to a lot of people in defence, they would also say it was hollowed out on your watch.
So that phrase is from Ben Wallace, who's a brilliant Secretary of State for Defence. He said defence spending was hollowed out under successive governments. He was referring to the fact...
You were in charge for 14 years, and there were quite a lot of different Conservative governments during that time.
And he was referring to the fact that defence spending since the end of the Cold War has fallen year on year. And it has, there's no doubt in that. It started to rise again under Prime Minister Boris Johnson when Rishi Sunak was Chancellor, a very significant increase. And I think there is a consensus that defence spending needs to rise. But it won't rise unless the government grips spending, and that means the issue of welfare reform.
Just very briefly, you'll have seen our interview with Meghan.
I'm so glad this party's dead. Because they're just such scum. Just like, no, we need to eviscerate the poor so we can spend more on the army that we won't use ever, honest. They're just scum and they need to go away forever.
Yeah, I just people who've just never, their entire life as people has just been because they enjoy inflicting misery on people.
Yeah.
At least the Labour politicians don't think that inflicting misery is a good thing. They just think that it's necessary for their careers. These people are in it for the love of the game.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
I've heard our conversation about chatbots. Do the Conservatives believe that there ought to be more regulation in this area?
Well, as you know, we brought in the Online Safety Act. And if I may just say personally, I actually agree with Lisa on this, Lisa and Andy. I have 4 children. I think looking after devices, the issue of mobile phones and so on is one of the toughest things for parents today. And, my heart goes out to the parents in that case. It's absolutely shocking. I think that in many ways you hit the nail on the head earlier. It's about how on earth regulators keep up with technology. It's moving so fast, as your panel said as well. And I think that there is huge economic gain to be had from AI, how it can and also how it can transform healthcare and so on. But regulators have got to keep up. And I'll just give you one specific example, if I may. So when I was Justice Minister, we had the issue of deep fakes. The law had never heard of something called a deep fake. So yes, you.
That's such a great description. Someone said he looks like a Dutch far-right MP from Wish.
He does. He really has a Geert Filters.
Yeah, he's kind
of physiognomy.
Timu Wilders.
Yeah.
You have to adapt the law as technology changes.
We have an I'm serious problem.
James Cartledge, thank you very much indeed.
What a waste of an interview. What a waste of an interview. You are a fucking garbage quote-unquote journalist. Fucking hell! Even
No,
by
whoa,
your
whoa,
own,
whoa, whoa,
even
whoa,
by
whoa,
your
whoa.
own pathetic
Award-winning
standards.
garbage.
Award-winning garbage, true. But even by your own pathetically low standards, this was a fucking shoddy piece of rubbish.
It really was.
Modern dilemma for governments right around the world.
absolutely.
Thanks very much indeed for coming in. Well, of course, the Remembrance Service is following us
Well,
on
I guess,
BBC
I
One,
mean,
and
that's
Sophie
probably it, isn't
Rayway.
it?
Is it? Oh God, more fucking wank. Look at these absolute knobheads. Oh, Bryan Cranston. What?
Is that no? That isn't Bryan Cranston, is it?
That isn't it?
Miller classic play on stage in London soon. But when we met, he too was remembering the days of those who'd gone before.
We have a similar.
Bryan fucking Cranston. What? Hang on, I'm sorry.
What?
Has my brain melted? Why is this a thing?
The angle when the first put of the picture, I was like, no, but it is. It fucking is.
Okay, they've got Heisenberg in for some reason. Okay.
Well, no, didn't you mean the dad from Malcolm in the Middle?
I do mean that. That's the thing that people definitely remember him for now. Yes.
Holiday. We call it Veterans Day.
They've even got the Yank to wear a fucking puppy. He doesn't know what the fuck this is all about. Well, that's ridiculous.
You're doing a play in London,
States,
oh, okay.
Remembrance Day and Veterans Day, honoring those who served. It's the most important thing that any country can do for their service personnel. My parents were both in the service. And what is fascinating to me is that during wartime, there is still commerce going on. You know, and there people buying and selling and supplying, people adjusting their normal products to fit, and that's what this story is about with All My Sons. A machine shop owner adjusts what he normally makes, pressure cookers and things like that, to make cylinder heads for the Army Air Force, and it doesn't go so well.
And the play taps into the dark side of that and the dark side of the American dream. And of course, it's Joe's line. Sure, he was my son when he's talking about some of those servicemen. But I think to him, they were all my sons. What does he mean?
It's not just your blood relative. It's your brothers and sisters or sons and daughters who served.
Woke.
It's honoring all of them. And that's the point of that line at the end of the play, is that my character realizes I was so hyper-focused on my work for my son and this, but all these men and women who serve really should be considered all of our children and have that feeling, that deep sense of responsibility to heal them and help them. And that's why coming back from any deployment, I mean, every country should do everything possible to help them re-enter society and job training and things like that.
But the decisions that your character, Joe Keller, has made...
Is he just going to ask... Come on now, he's going to ask about politics or something, right?
It definitely has been assaulted. The problem comes in, to me, when people have differing opinion, use this hyperbolic refrain about, well, Laura, your opinion is ruining the country. You are going to ruin the country. And it's like, let's settle down. It's a different opinion. You and I may go through a bunch of different subjects and we may not agree on everything, but I don't necessarily feel you're out to ruin the country. I hope you don't feel that way. And so let's talk about it. I think when the finger
No,
point...
to be fair, she just supports the politicians that ruin the country, which is totally different.
True.
Starts
well, welcome in.
is when
Sorry.
the listening...
Thank you, Ray K, for the 53 people rating. Welcome in. You're through to the No Justice stream. I'm here with Kevin Logan. You should also follow KFLogan1875. And everyone should follow, and my chat should go and follow Ray K. That's Ray_KHAY, Palestinian-based streamer.
Fuck yes.
Please go and do that thing.
Things stops.
Do you think the current president is guilty of that?
Our president is not someone who I voted for or wanted to be president. And yet he is our president. And I hope he's successful. I really do, for the sake of the country. And I hope, that's what I'm hoping for.
You have made some great TV.
What the fuck is that answer, man? Oh, that's shameful bollocks. Behave yourself. Give a fucking opinion, for fuck's sake. Oh, I didn't vote for him, but I hope you're successful. You're a knob. You're a knobhead.
TV, and our audience.
Yeah, like successful at what exactly? What, deporting all the people he said he wanted to deport? Successful at what? Covering up his fucking involvement in the Jeffrey Epstein crimes? What exactly?
I mean, yeah, like he's
wouldn't forget.
I mean, he's not even successful at actually reshaping the world order. All he's done is start the American century of humiliation.
Yeah, yeah.
Forgive me if I didn't also ask you about some of that. So did playing Walter White in Breaking Bad, that series that so many people in this country were obsessed with, I just wondered, did it change you as a person?
Made him a lot richer.
Hang on, hang on. Can you ask about the political implications of the fact that the show was only possible because there's no socialised healthcare?
Yeah, that gets completely forgotten, really, doesn't it? It's like that whole story doesn't happen in Britain. That's just the story of a middle-aged school teacher who gets his cancer taken care of. And that's fine. That's just normal. Yeah, that just happens. And then they go on and live their lives. No drugs, no gang warfare, nothing. It's very, very boring. But ultimately, humane. Jesus Christ. It is an amazing series, though. I did love it. But yeah, it shouldn't need to happen. If you want to become a drug dealer, do it for the love of the game, is what I say. You shouldn't be forced into it. You should do it because you're passionate about it. Anyway, I couldn't give a fuck about Bryan Cranston and whether playing fucking Heisenberg, changed his life. I couldn't give two shits. And I think that's basically the end of the show. Yeah, no, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's
No,
over.
oh well. I mean, so is there anything else worth talking about today? Oh, I'll tell you what there is. I had cream soda flavoured Dr. Pepper today that I picked up at the corner shop, and it was very nice.
Sounds absolutely disgusting. I'll just. I will take your word for it that you liked it, and that's fine. But that sounds horrific. Let's say it sounds American.
I mean, Comiton, we can't watch Zack on the Last Leg because we will certainly get copyright cucked.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to watch it, but no, there's no way. Channel 4 are horrific with that. Yeah, they're worse than the BBC by far. Yeah. Anyway, on that bombshell, I reckon unless there literally is anything else, I'm fine.
I mean, we could talk about the fact that there's some big immigration crackdown coming from Shabana Mahmood, but I think I'm going to save that till tomorrow, along with a bunch of the tax reform stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, because they've learned nothing. They've learned nothing from the rise of the Greens or your party. They're just going to chase right-wing votes that they cannot win. It's just going to be performative cruelty for no gain for anyone.
I mean, there's a poll by opinion from the first week of this month about whether or not Keir Starmer should resign. What do you think the percentage of Reform voters think about the necessity of Keir Starmer
resigning? It's got to be like 80%.
It's 94%.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Okay, there you go. How many? Well, what I want to know is what's the percentage of Labour voters?
80. So only 15% say that he should resign.
Oh, that's not actually as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it'd be more.
But that's people who are intending to vote Labour now. I believe if you put it down by people who actually voted Labour at the last election, it's more like 35%.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. That's even weirder then. So there are 15% of people who would vote Labour now, but also think that the Prime Minister should resign. What the fuck? What kind of mental gymnastics are you doing? I'm going to potentially vote for the guy who I don't think is...
voting Labour...
Yeah, I don't think he's fit to be Prime Minister, which is mental.
I'm assuming they're either Labour ultras who want him to resign because he thinks he's damaging the Labour brand, or they're people who are just voting for whoever thinks will beat reform.
Yeah, I suppose there's probably a bit of that, yeah. Which, by the way, I mean, the fact that, the Green Party are outpolling them now, the Labour Party need to step down. You're splitting the left vote, lads. Okay.
I mean, given the fact that I'm going to call this put up on TikTok to be a very funny meme. Given the fact that the Labour Party is now 3 points behind the Greens in some polls, And we need to show a united front to ensure that we stop reform from winning, which means tactically voting for the party that's best placed to block or reform government. I think that the Labour Party and its voter base need to put pragmatism, cold-hearted pragmatism, over their luxury ideology and their desire to put the needs of the party over that of the country, and indeed the fact that what they really are engaging in is student politics. They don't live in the real world where there's the threat of a reform government. They don't understand this issue, and they're willing to split the vote and be reform party enablers.
Farage enablers.
Exactly, they're being Farage enablers by not stepping down and tactically voting and supporting the Green Party that is the actual opposition to reform now. So I hope that the Labour Party voters will grow up, but I'm sure now they are just committed now to student politics.
Honestly, they're fleas. We need to shake them off.
That's the unfortunate reality that we're living in now. Because quite frankly, Labour are just a protest party. They're just a protest party, and people are voting Labour because they think that there's more important things than stopping reform.
Honestly, Zack Polanski is the adult in the room.
He is the adult in the room. Yeah. And the adults in the room are being undermined by silly protest voters voting for a party like Labour that's never going to win, and splitting the vote for ideological purity reasons, when us here on the centre-left, the sensible Guardian-reading pragmatists of the centre-left, are voting for whichever party, no matter how imperfect, who is best placed to beat reform.
Honestly, I think the Greens can fix the foundations.
It's true. They've got 5 missions on how to fix the country.
Fuck's sake.
But also, I mean, you know full well that these Labour voters won't do that. Obviously, I was sarcastically mocking them in the way that they talk to us when we were voting Green. If they want to vote Labour because they believe in Keir Starmer's centrist fucking nonsense, then they're by all means that they have every right to do so. Like, we didn't want to vote for it because we're actual left-wing socialists who wanted socialism and not centrist centre-right guff, which is what Keir Starmer has delivered. If they really, really want that stuff, they can vote for it. But don't get mad at us for not voting for that piss beforehand and then telling us we should have done for pragmatic reasons when you won't do the same thing when the Green Party are ahead of Labour. Because it's hypocritical.
True. I've just realised it's the real 9/11 as well.
Oh, it is the real 9/11, isn't it?
Yeah, because in America you put the day and the week. No, what? Month wrong. Yeah, that one. So you would say it's 11/9, but you're incorrect. Thank you, Rachel Atwood, who says Zack the Lego Maniac turned 43 a week ago today. Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. Bless him.
Imagine having somebody under the age of 50 as a party leader. Crazy stuff.
Well, what kind of... I mean, he's betraying the gerontocracy, and I will not stand for it. How old's Keir Starmer?
Anyway.
He's about 60.
He's 60, yeah.
Although he looks... I will say this. As much as I think he's a prick, he does look good for his age.
True.
It's mainly because he's never done a day's work in his fucking life. Is what I imagine. When you sit in an office, an air-conditioned office, and don't, go after Jimmy Savile, it's a stress-free life, isn't it? And he's been...
Anyway, should we...
So go on, I'm just fucking being a knob now. Go on.
Should we do a Raiderino?
Let's do that. Starmer is 63, apparently. There you go.
So I'm going to read into Liv Agar over on Twitch, because I like to clout chase.
That's fair dues. I'm going to go to Left of the Box on YouTube's.
I'll go into The Noisy Immigrant over on the YouTubes.
Oh, we're not even double raiding anymore. Chat, we're drifting apart. The hatred begins.
Where are you going on Twitch?
I forgot what you were going.
Liv Agar, that's where I was going to go to.
Do I follow that person? I know them.
I
know of them, but...
I know of Livagear.
Oh, yeah, I do, yeah. Oh, my God, that's a lot of followers. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's plenty of clouds.
Cloud Jays, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone go follow Careful175 over on Twitch, not Careful175 over on Twitter, and Ploppy over on YouTube.
Go and follow No Justice MTG on all of the platforms immediately, otherwise I will strike down upon you with furious vengeance, etc.
You're back tomorrow at 6 for happy hour, right?
I am indeed. Well remembered. I'd forgotten, so thank you for reminding me.
No worries. I'll be back. I'll try and do an afternoon stream. You know, it won't happen, of course.
Yeah.
Either way, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.